Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Let's plaster on a smile, try to get through the next 4 hours together with our beloved Tier 1s who are already filling up the chat. Dooming, which I am right there with you, my friends. I can actually, if we want to just do like 5 minutes on the San Diego Padres, I can save us a lot of time. I've got some expert analysis that if I just give it, there's really nothing else to say. They stink. They stink. This is a stinky, stinky baseball team. That's it. That's all I've got to say on it. They stink. This team stinks right now. They stink.
I have a rule, nothing hard set in stone or whatever, but usually my rule is like 6 runs, I'll turn it off. One way or the other. Like if it's like 6th, 7th inning and we're up or down 6, 7 runs, I'm good. I've seen the game. I turned it off in the 7th inning yesterday. 3-0.
We're getting back to those days where it's like 1-0. That's insurmountable. I'm out, and that's not a good feeling.
After the 2-run bomb, they go up 3-0. I go
toast.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
Yeah,
this offense has nothing tonight.
They stink.
Again,
they stink.
And I'm going to watch something else.
They stink. They stink. They stink. There's no other way to look at it. They stink right now. They stink. Ben and Woods, though, we smell pretty good, I think. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I'm suited and booted. I got I put my deodorant on this morning. I'm ready to go. We're going to try to figure this thing out together. Got zero answers for you other than, I don't know, hit a baseball every now and then might help you score some runs for your starting pitchers. That might be a good thing as well. But again, if you came here for the expert analysis, I think I just gave it to you. They stink. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Paulie never stinks. Always fresh. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. You're looking a little sad this morning. I was looking for a better word than sad.
No, not sad. I think I think I smell like meat. I have a meat hangover. We went to dinner last night. It was my son's birthday yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and
you didn't even wish him a happy birthday.
I didn't. He doesn't necessarily. I didn't feel. Sometimes he doesn't want the attention, but we had a nice.
Just saying happy birthday, son.
We had a nice evening.
Well, now, okay. So here's what I don't understand. You said I don't want to wish him a happy birthday on his birthday. After the fact, you're like, hey, it was my son's birthday.
I seemed comfortable with it last night, so I thought it'd be okay to at least mention that we went out to celebrate his birthday last night.
Jack, yes?
Jack.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Yeah.
How old?
22.
Oh, best year of my life.
22 is fine.
Oh, my God. The summer I turned 22 I don't mean the best year of my life, babe, if you're listening.
So he had been under the weather the last few days, and we weren't sure if we were going to do anything because he just wasn't feeling like couldn't eat, and he was down. So we thought, well, maybe we'll postpone a few days and do something later. But he started feeling a lot better, and he said, Dad, I feel like a steak. And I said, well, it's your birthday.
Yes.
So we are going to get you some steak for your birthday.
Now, you could have called your old pal Woodsy the steak master.
I could have searer on your cast iron.
Bro, I could have grilled him up one easy.
But so no, we and my other son was working, so we watched the Padres game.
Lots of meat.
A later dinner reservation, which is odd on a Tuesday, going to a 7:45 dinner.
Time?
We went,
7:45.
7:45 was our when we sat down at the table.
You don't have to name the restaurant, but okay. Go ahead if you want to.
We went to Ember and Rye.
Oh, yeah. Mama! That's the best place.
Lots of meat.
That's one of the best places I've ever eaten.
Unbelievable.
God bless.
I haven't been there since because they closed and reopened.
They had a fire.
Yeah,
and it's reopened, and it's still incredible.
Shelly and I shared a Denver steak with some bone marrow butter.
Now, Denver steak is like a Denver omelet. They cover it with onions,
sunshine steak,
and green peppers.
It's a cut. It was delicious. But
what is a Denver steak? Is it shaped like Colorado?
Exactly,
big square. I've never heard of Denver before.
I didn't either, but our server, who actually Shelly knew, so she was really helpful with recommendations. It's one of my favorites. It was good. It was a good cut. It was kind of a cross between a New York and a hanger steak, I think.
But what's a hanger steak? I've never heard of that either.
That's like the flap that comes on the end of the. We don't need to get into cuts of meat here. I'm just
why
saying.
Not? We have nothing else to do.
The showstopper, though, my other son got the special, which was a short rib that had been sous vide cooked for 2 days and then smoked for 7 hours with like a whiskey sauce, and it was crazy. It was pretty big, so I had a few bites of it, and it was It was insane, I must say. Had the sides, potatoes, veg, a couple of desserts because it was, of course, a birthday, so we needed dessert. So I'm feeling a little meated out this morning.
So let's see. You guys shared a steak, and then you had some short rib, and then you had more steak from some of the Denver steak.
So I had some of the short rib. We shared the Denver steak. Yeah, it was like an 8-ounce steak, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
that we didn't have. But then once you get all the sides and you start having a bite of the short rib and everything, you start feeling fairly full of the meats.
It's so funny because it's 6:07 in the morning. I've been up since got up at 3:30. If you put that in front of me at 6:07 this morning, I'm crushing all of it. The Denver steak, the hanger steak, the flap, whatever you're talking about, the short rib, the sides. Their sides there are ungodly. It's up there with my favorite restaurants in the world that I've ever been to. Ember and Rye, if you've never been, it's up in Carlsbad. It's such a special place.
Their version of mashed potatoes, whatever it was so rich you almost couldn't taste the potato.
Yeah.
It was like there was maybe like a hint of potato.
Mostly butter and garlic.
Between the butter and the cheese and whatever else was in there. It was close to soup, but it was delicious.
What else did you have? What other sides?
We had the Brussels sprouts. We had the what else do we have? Mushrooms, sherry mushrooms of some sort.
What was your dessert?
So they had a s'more kind of cake, and then a lemon yuzu or a curd, which everyone loved that actually.
Curd.
It was like a curd.
Yeah.
Curd.
It's like a tart curd.
A tart, kind of a tart pudding of sorts.
Tart curd
with
pudding.
A crumble.
It
was actually very good.
I would murder
Everyone loved it.
I love that place. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've eaten several birthday dinners there, several anniversaries we've spent at Ember and Rye. You can't beat it. I mean, honestly.
The one thing I tried to avoid was alcohol. I thought, if I'm going to eat that late and it's going to be tough, I did half a glass of red wine just to go with the steak.
Cheers, mates.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So,
well, my dinner was a little bit different. My wife went actually to see Kate Hudson last night.
Really?
So when she said about a week ago, she goes, "Oh my God, Kate Hudson is coming. I'm going to go see her." I was like,
"Girls' night?"
Is she doing a?
No, she sings.
So I said,
she's really good.
I go, "Is she doing a play or something? What do you mean you're going to see Kate Hudson?" She goes, "Oh no, she's a singer." I go, "Kate Hudson, like the actress?" And she goes, "Yeah,
Goldie Hawn's daughter." Right?
Yeah. And she was married to Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes for many, many years. They're not anymore. But I said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Great." So she went with her mom and they went to see Kate Hudson. She showed me some video. She did a bunch of covers. She did Voices Carry by Till Tuesday, which sounded amazing. She did Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. That was unreal.
I heard her sing she did Stern a couple months ago, and I was like, good God, she's not bad.
She was really good. And look,
I didn't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
Exactly. And my wife was showing me video. I was like, bro, she looks fantastic. I mean, fantastic. So Hannah went to that. I had the boys. We had Little League. It was our last Little League game. The Woodpeckers took on the Tides. Great game. Super fun. Both teams engaged. Rick Sutcliffe, his grandson, was on the other team. And I got to see Sut before the game and chop it up with him. And my guys just played so well. Dominated, had so much fun. And then we did the superlatives after. It's always hard to come up. You know, I always say that this team was actually the easiest that I've ever. It was so easy to be like, you're the speed demon, you're the game changer, you're the platinum glove, you're the silver slugger. Like, it was so easy because they're so good. And it made me really sad at the end because I thought to myself, I'm not going to get to coach all of these kids as a unit anymore. And it made me really sad because I see there's this little core and I'm like, I love these guys. Like I would run through a wall for these kids and I see them getting better every single year. And I'm like, how do I keep them together? Can't do it. I thought about bribes. I'm thinking about bribery at this point. Like we'll make a donation, but I need to keep my core together. But every kid on that team was so much fun. They all grew so much. So we had our last game. So I did the trophies at the field, and then the whole crew went over to Round Table Pizza. It's pizza royalty. So Bo's getting dressed. He goes, where are we going to dinner after? Where's the party? I go, it's at Round Table. He goes, oh, that's where you guys do your thing. And I go, we don't do it there. And he goes, I thought you did it at round. You always say round table. I go, no, they bring us pizza. He goes, you get to eat pizza while you do it? I go, no, the salespeople get to eat pizza while we do it. We actually just do the round table, but they bring one. There is an empty box in front of us, but no, it's mostly for the salespeople and management and things like that. So we don't actually go to round table. I got to tell you, so we go, the whole team, all the siblings, the whole bit. They're cranking video games. I mean, they're having a blast. And we did have some round table pizza, and it was quite good, quite good. So that was ours. Took them home. Got them ready for bed. And then Hannah came in about an hour later and showed me a couple videos. And then we hit the sack, man. And I watched, basically the game restarted when I got home. So I watched as much as I could, knew the score. There's nothing worse than watching a game of which you know the outcome, knowing your offense got shut out and didn't do anything.
It was the best game to miss. You missed nothing. I mean,
nothing. Literally nothing. It was such a throwaway game.
Yeah, I mean,
other than Dylan Cease pitching pretty well,
was good. They didn't make any defensive mistakes. Again, two-thirds of the Padres team is just fine. The pitching and the defense remain quite solid.
Yep.
There's no offense.
There's zero offense, and I don't know.
You do have to score to win.
I mean, maybe you switch up the lineup at this point. What could it hurt? What could it possibly
I think the tough part is usually you switch up the line. Hey, let's get our hotter hitters all together and all batting at the same time. There are no hotter.
There are no hot hitters right now. Nobody's doing anything.
The less slumping Luis Ariz and Fernando Tatis Jr. and then
the majorly
pretty
slumping
much
Manny.
Everybody else in the lineup that is not hitting. And they already have the two guys who are less slumping at 1-2. So I'm not sure what else you can do with the lineup.
You got to break those guys up. That's what you do. You break those guys up. You space it out a little bit more. Spread the hits. I don't know. I just, at this point, like, what's it going to hurt? You can't score less than 0. There's no hurt in giving it a little tinker. Getting the screwdriver out, tinkering with it a little bit, Schulte. I don't know, man. It's just a tough watch. It's just so boring right now. So boring. They're just a boring team. They stink right now. I think they would tell you we stink.
Manning did say it. He said, we're just not hitting.
Yeah, we're not hitting.
We're just not hitting. I mean, that's really is the only breakdown that you can offer of the game. Manny could host this show. And he can sit here and tell you, just like he said last night, we're just not hitting.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a particular answer that they have as to why they're not hitting. So, I mean, do you try something different, or you try to get back to what you were doing, or I think that's the question. Like, has your philosophy gone awry and you need to change your philosophy, or did you get away from your philosophy and you need to get back to the philosophy? I'm not sure which one's true, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I can't tell you what it's like to be a hitting coach or even a hitter at that level, Ben. And when things aren't going well, I would imagine they're probably gripping the bat a little bit tight. They need to go out and get drunk together in Toronto and have fun. Go cut loose and come to this game today, ready to just have fun and play baseball. They also don't look like they're having one bit of fun, not even a little bit. I mean, everyone has got, like, Jackson Merrill has the teeth clenched. Like, he's
making outs is not fun.
It's not fun.
You can have fun even if you're in a slump. If the team's doing well and you can get up in the dugout and you got stuff to cheer for. There was no even like rallies or threats. First inning, they had a couple guys on. They had a rise out on second. That was it. That was the only really chance they had all game. Other than that, it was a couple of singles. Guy on first with 2 outs. I mean, there's not a lot to cheer about. Why would you ever look like you're having fun? You wouldn't want them. That's the thing.
That's the other thing. You'd be pissed.
You'd be mad if they look like they were having the time of their lives. Look at. I mean, they may be
Everyone's
getting shut
a
out.
body language expert.
Yeah. They are so happy and so into it. You'd be furious.
Yeah.
They'd be absolutely furious. So
I know.
Be careful not to get them both ways.
I know.
God, this team looks miserable right now. They need to change it up. Well, if they didn't look miserable, you'd be really furious at them.
It's grindy, man. It's a grindy watch. I'm sure it's a very grindy thing to be a part of right now when it's not clicking. 24 0 for 24 now with runners in scoring position. If I never hear the number 24 again, it will be too soon. I am tired of Padres setting records with the number 24. Unless it's 24 straight world championships. That's the next time I want to hear. Or you won 24 games in a row. You got to flip the script on 24. But, yeah, it's rough, man. And like I said, I knew the score when I was at Roundtable. Saw the last 3 outs on the TV there. Padres go down, kind of listless against Jeff Hoffman in the 9th. And next thing you know, I go home. The game's restarting. I'm getting the kids ready for bed. And I'm like, all right, I'll watch a little bit. What an excruciating exercise that is. I know you lose 3-0. I know there's nothing to cheer about. And I'm like, all right, I need to watch some of this. And then made it about 4 innings, and then just watched the recap.
It was a waste of time. You really, if you called, I said, don't bother watching. You're not going to learn anything.
No,
you're not going to get any information. There's not any breakdown of some strategic key play that we need to go over. Like if they had just done this, there was none of that in the game last night.
Yeah, you didn't miss an opportunity to bunt a guy over, to take an extra bag, anything. It's just a really boring 3-0 loss for the San Diego Padres. And look, man, at this point, you got to figure it out. You have to figure it out. You want to be in the mix in the West. Some other teams are finding their strides right now. The Dodgers were able to pull one out last night.
They were, but they've got problems.
They got problems. You've got a problem.
Honestly, and I want to go through this, and we can get into it a little bit later.
You got a problem.
Yeah. Like, what team would you definitively rather be right now than the Padres? Yeah, I know the Padres are scuffling. I mean, you give me the Cardinals. They're red hot right now.
But I still don't believe.
I don't want to be the Cardinals, though. You be the Twins. They're red hot. I don't believe. Twins. Dodgers have been scuffling just as bad or worse than the Padres.
I mean, again, you look at it and you're like, the people they got coming back. You're like, okay.
I feel like they're going to be okay. But just to trade, if you just traded with the Dodgers right now, you'd still be in the torture chamber.
Yeah, with a terrible bullpen.
They are in the torture chamber right now. The Mets are in the torture chamber. The Cubs have been in the torture chamber with their bullpen, and these are the best teams in the National League, generally speaking. So the Padres have company right now. They're not the only team that is not living up to what their potential is or what they'd like
Phillies
to be.
Would be pretty fun. They've won 5 in a row.
They're hot at the moment, but they had been in the torture chamber for the better part of the first month and a half of the season, trying to get it going. Every team has flaws right now, and what will be determinative of this season is which teams figure out how to get past their flaws.
Well,
now Padres' flaws offense.
San Diego Padres resting comfortably in 3rd place now. Game and a half back of the Dodgers, half a game back from the Giants. Yeah, man. It's no wait.
Yeah.
That's right.
Situation's not dire critical.
No.
They haven't buried themselves with a 4-game losing streak.
No, they haven't. It's funny, man. I'm looking at the last 10 for all these teams, and Dodgers 4-6. Giants 5-5. Padres being 4-6 in their last 10 doesn't. I feel like they haven't won a game in 3 weeks.
This is what I'm saying. The Padres aren't. They're not on an island here.
Yeah.
This is what the National League looks like at the moment.
God, man, it's just baseball is such a rough product when the offense is listless. It's such a rough, isn't it? Like when your offense is floundering, and I mean floundering, like. There's games where we lost 6-4, but big 3-run shot there by Toddy. Like there's some life, there's some spark. When this team is their offense is floundering, it goes from a really exciting product to just a very bad looking product.
Which is true of the other 29 teams as well.
For sure.
When they scuffle offensively, it's always a rough look.
The Dodgers will lose a game 9-7.
Well, that's not scuffling offensively.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. They're but even though they lose, like you're still fighting and putting up runs.
It's always the lack of offense.
The lack of
makes
offense.
A team look listless.
Yes.
Or bad defensive play.
Defense makes you just die.
I will knock on wood. That is not something we have seen from the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
At least.
Stinks right now, man. They stink.
Does. All right. We'll talk about it coming up. Set the menu for you and get you ready for Ben and Woods. Don't go away. Just quick check of traffic here. More continuing foreplay on Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Sedano Ford. Good morning. We're off to a foggy start in some parts of the county, so you definitely want to take that into consideration. Leave a little extra time for travel. Be extra alert once you're out there. Got a crash in the North County, West 56 before Carmel Valley Road. It's over to the right shoulder. Fortunately, not causing much slowing. Handful of folks need to get their vehicles in for some servicing. Got a stall southbound 5 before Gilman. It's over to the right shoulder. Also, a stall reported on the Friars Road off-ramp south 163. That's over to the left shoulder. Eastbound 54 past the 805. A stall partially in the fast lane. This Memorial Day at local and veteran-owned Sedano Ford, you have choices to make. Choose the Escape Active or Bronco Sport Big Bend for only $219 a month. Plus, Sedano Ford's mobile service will come to your home or work at no extra charge. Get all the details now at SedanoFord.com. And Kelly Danik with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Do want to offer best of luck to the USD Toreros baseball team.
Indeed.
Went and saw Coach Brock Ungrich and the squad yesterday as they got on a bus for Las Vegas where they're competing in the WCC tournament. Really good story. They started 6-24 in non-conference play this season. I mean, that was very, that's a good program. To be 6-24 is shockingly bad. And then they came back, went 19-5 in the WCC and won the conference.
It's amazing.
They turned it around. A couple of the guys told the story of kind of how they never lost faith in each other, and even when things look their bleakest, baseball is a weird sport.
Yep.
You figure it out, you get it going, and things can still be good. Padres are in by no stretch of the imagination in 6-24 territory, but they were on their way up there, and I wanted to wish them the best of luck. Brock said hello to both of you guys.
Love Brock.
Good tier 1, Coach Ungrich.
Great dude.
At USD, so that was kind of fun yesterday.
So they got like a 5-hour bus ride.
They did. They were going to pop Ocean's 11 on the screens.
Just watched
their favorite Vegas movies as they took the bus to Vegas yesterday.
I just watched it with Bo. He really enjoyed it as well. Didn't understand it. It's confusing.
Great heist movie.
It's a great heist movie, and it's kind of confusing how they do it. At the end. It took me 3 or 4 watches to really get how they were able to do it, but they did it. Then you realize, the SWAT team is actually carrying the money out.
That's what the air freshener is to indicate. They show you the air freshener earlier in the movie without
a little nugget
showing you where it is, just in hanging from a rear view mirror of a van, but you don't see it's a SWAT van. And then when you see the air freshener later, you realize, that's what they were doing.
Yeah, and the recreation of the vault so that they could film.
Spoiler alert.
The recreation of the vault so that they could patch that in and think that Terry Benedict would be watching that and think it was going on inside his own vault. Brilliant. It's a brilliant
But the logo wasn't on the floor.
The logo wasn't on the floor.
Installed it.
God, man. So good.
All right, let's get to our Padres crap up. We'll go through last night's game, at least the parts that we can stomach discussing for your San Diego Padres who are slumping. And it is a Big League Wednesday. Today's big league guest, fun guy, smart guy, Doug Glanville is going to join us.
Doug.
ESPN analyst and always a great guest when he's got a few minutes for us, but that's not until later in the show. So we'll get to our regular features and more, but we'll start with the 3-0 loss to the Toronto Blue Jays coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. First, Woods and I want to tell you about Trust and Will. Early in the morning, I know, probably not the first thing you want to think about on your Wednesday is...
After that game, it's the first thing I want to think about.
What happens when you're gone. But you also don't want to not think about it, put it off so long, and then you just stress, what does happen if something happens to me? Have you named a guardian for your children?
Correct.
If you've got young children, you don't want the state picking what happens to them. You can do that by going to trustandwill.com, answering some simple questions, takes about 20 minutes, and setting up a real will or trust that can guide your family in the event of your untimely demise.
Yes, Benny. The taking care of your family is something that everybody needs to think about. We think about it, but you actually have to take action. And that's kind of the hard part for some people. They made it so easy for us. Just go to trustandwill.com, use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. You're going to get 20% off, and they're going to ship you your estate documents for free. There's our pal Dominic in the chat. Get a trust, folks. Keep your family out of probate court. It's expensive. It's a pain, and it's lengthy.
Also expensive are lawyers. Billable hours. Yep. You go in for an office visit for a couple of hours. You can't believe how that racks up. Not at trustandwill.com. Simple fee, one fee, 20% off using the code FAN at checkout. Just get it done this week. Trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got a shout out to his family coming up a little bit later this morning.
Yeah, big one.
Definitely don't want to miss that, I would think. Someone who's, I'd say, be significant beyond what you would have expected given his career.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
We'll get to the Padres crap up here in a second. Quick update from Mike Schild on Yu Darvish. It was kind of an odd update yesterday.
They're all odd
Yu
right
Darvish. Now. We thought he was going to be with the team in Toronto. Wasn't going to start. Was going to be there and possibly start in Atlanta. But then he wasn't with them on the trip. And then Mike Schild said, no, he's doing well, but we're not sure when he's going to pitch again. No, it's fine, but there's no. I mean, he went to his rehab start. They don't have him scheduled for another rehab start, but they also don't have him scheduled for a big league return either. He's still throwing, Mike Schild said, like playing catch, whatever, doesn't feel bad, and kind of left it at that. And maybe this is partly just the way they handle Yu Darvish. They're very respectful of you. They let you kind of Yu Darvish.
Because I would disagree with that.
They kind of
statement.
let him plan his own recovery and rehab. And he's just saying, yeah, no, I'm really close. No, I don't need another rehab, but I'm not quite ready to perhaps take the mound yet. I don't know if he's looking for something just to feel like locked in, like that, the tumbler clicks in the lock and okay, now I'm ready. I was waiting for something. Now I've got the feels back and I'm ready to go. But at some point they have to decide either they're going to send him on another rehab assignment or they're just going to start him and let him go. But neither really was the answer yesterday from Mike Schild.
Am I a nightmare because I keep seeing all these updates of pitchers and this pitcher and that pitcher? I'm like, I don't care. Is there a guy that can hit the baseball? Like, oh, Matt Waldron may come back in 2 weeks. Fantastic. And I know enough about baseball to know you can't have too much pitching. I do want to see Yu Darvish back. Is there someone that can hit a ball hard and far? That's the thing that's bugging me right now. Like I'm talking to some pretty respectful Dodger fans that I like. right now on Twitter. And they're like, hey, listen, our bullpen sucks, but we've got reinforcements coming. We're not too worried. And I go, you're right. Our hitting sucks. There's nothing on the horizon. There's not, oh, don't worry, our big slugger just got off the, the
it's
oblique.
Tough, though. I mean, Jason Hayward, he had a hit yesterday.
He did.
But, in the catching position, yes, those remain areas where offensively they're going to struggle. I don't know that any other of the 7 guys in the lineup, though, that I would change. I just feel
No. What I'm saying is,
right.
I understand, like, we need the pitching, and great. Look forward to seeing those guys. I really like Matt Waldron. I really like you, Darvish. What I'm wishing is we had updates on our big slugger that was coming back to hit a ball out of the ballpark. Doesn't exist. That's kind of my point.
I just don't know. There's not a lot of guys you can replace in the Padres.
No, there's not.
Tatis, Arise, Machado, Merrill, Bogarts, Sheets, and Cronenworth, I think, are pretty solidly your 7 now for the rest of the year. And you may tinker on the edges there with your left fielder. Don't know if you're going to be able to change much on your catcher. Even if they had someone coming up, I mean, yeah, they'd find a spot for him right now if they were struggling. But it's not like you're going to make a giant trade and replace Merrill or replace Machado because they're struggling. You just have to ride it out until they're 100%. Not struggling again.
Yeah, you have to trust their track records of success in hitting and know that they'll hit. I have seen it more this morning in the chat. Fire Victor Rodriguez. Victor Rodriguez has got to go. So Victor Rodriguez last year turned this offense. I mean, we said it. Like, we finally have a hitting coach that seemingly has the guys buying in. Seen a lot of flashes of it this year. No question. I think this is a down spot for them. It's just a down spell. I trust their track records. And I don't think you can slam the e-brake on and go out and hire the Brett Boone of the Padres, and say, oh, you got to come in and change it all. It's pretty bad. I mean, the offense is pretty bad right now. It's pretty listless. But when you have Luis Ariz, who refuses to take a walk ever, I mean, they showed an AB of his last night.
He fought to not take the walk.
He fought hard to not take the walk. He fouled
off a lot of walk pitches to get that opportunity to fly out at the end of the at-bat.
You've got Tatis maybe chasing a little bit more than he has. You got Manny chasing a lot more than he has and not getting solid contact.
Except when Tatis is just watching 3 strikes.
Right.
So he's not chasing at all on that at-bat. He's just not quite in his right spot.
In his right spot, you've got Jackson Merrill. Again, one of those guys, he's just in swing mode right now. He's just going to swing, trying to swing his way out of it, which I think, good hitters do. It's hard to be patient when you're not hitting. It's really hard. You want to do something.
Yeah, the Padres are in that weird spot where they need to be more aggressive because they're not slugging enough. So you need to get more aggressive at the plate, but also be more patient at the same time because you're not walking enough.
Right.
Now, honestly, that's the dilemma. That's the double-edged sword here for the Padres. They're not aggressive enough. And they're not patient enough at the same time. So what do you focus on when you go up there? This at bat, I'm going to be more patient. This at bat, I'm going to be more aggressive. They're guessing right now at what they should do because nothing is working at the moment collectively.
Yeah, they stink right now.
All right. This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Eliminite Termite, the orange oil experts. Have termites? Eliminite Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your homes naturally. Schedule a free inspection at Eliminite Termite.
Nailed it.
It's going well until the end there. That's fine. Let's get to our crap up after a check of foggy traffic with Kelly here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, a 15-minute drive-through oil change. Crosshatch is cleared on westbound 56 before Carmel Valley Road. Speeds are looking good there. Got southbound 163, a stalled vehicle on the Friars Road exit. Northbound 5 before the Grand Garnet exit. Getting reports of a possible encampment or brush fire over to the right shoulder. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes, and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened?
Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres
Crap up.
presented by Hamul Casino. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
0-1, swung on, driven to left field and deep. Going back for it is Hayward. He's at the wall. He looks up. It's gone. Into the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. 1-0 Jays. First pitch swinging, fly ball to Fernando. He looks up. This one is gone. Line drive shot by Santander. And all of a sudden, the Jays have a 3-0 lead. Hot shot, one hopper, but third baseman Gardner's got it over to first base in time, and that will do it. Hoffman locks down his 10th save of the season. Blue Jays taking one of this three-game set over the Padres by a score of 3-0.
7 really quality innings, in control effectively the whole night. Throwing it where we wanted to, a lot of life, slider really good. Guerrero actually got a pitch that was pretty good heater up. Put a swing on it. The slider, Santana, he was able to get some barrel on it, obviously, but Dylan was fantastic and gave us 7 quality innings. It's always nice to get 7 innings out of your starter, especially when you start a stretch of games, at the beginning of a stretch of games. So he was really good.
I'm getting really tired of tipping my hat to the opposing pitcher that holds us to 1 run.
Well, that was Dylan Cease. He actually tipped his cap to.
Oh, I thought it was the other guy.
No, that was
right.
Dylan Cease, who he said was really good.
He was.
In that quote. He was. I mean,
hey, man, 7 innings, 3 runs. Our starting pitchers deserve better right now.
They do.
They really, really do. It's got to be a lot on them.
One bad pitch. Santander got a hanger, and it came after a walk. So that was 2 runs. Vlad, as Schultz said, put a good swing on that second at bat of the game. High fastball,
smoked it.
He's a good player. Yep. That's going to happen. And
take a solo shot all day.
Says solo shots are not going to kill you, but they did. The game was over at that point because you aren't going to score. Right now, Padres starting pitchers need to find a way. As Mike Schultz says, winners find solutions. All right, find a way to hold the other team to -1 right now.
That's
the only way you're winning with the way the offense is performing. So I'm not going to drag Dylan Cease. Retired 11 in a row between Vlad Jr. and the walk and home run.
He's been great. He's really come on. He looks like he's in command of his stuff.
I mean, if I'm a Blue Jays Toronto radio host this morning, I'm really kind of talking about our offense doesn't look good either. We got 3 hits the entire game. 4 base runners or 5 base runners the entire game. They did nothing offensively against the Padres other than put 2 good swings on a ball that happened to leave the yard.
And we're getting beat with power, which is one thing we can't answer with. That's the thing is our counter punches, maybe we'll hit 4 singles to get 2 runs. We cannot counter with power.
And the box scores indicated the games against Seattle and last night's game, very similar. Padres actually have out-hit the Mariners and Blue Jays over the last 4 games. It sounds stunning. As bad as the Padres offense is, they have more hits than the other team, which is usually a good thing. But when none of them are for home runs and they're not driving in runs because they're 0 for 24 with runners in scoring position, doesn't matter how many hits you get.
Yeah.
You get 15 hits. If you're not scoring runs, the point of the game is to get guys across home plate. So, yeah, the pitching is doing its job. You can't really necessarily control if you give up hard contact. And the Padres had hard contact too. They hit some scorchers. They were on the ground. They were line drives. They were a deep fly ball that was caught at the wall. Yeah, the Blue Jays hit 2 scorchers. They went over the wall, and that was why they won the game.
I don't. The thing is Steve is in the chat saying, Victor's got to go. This is a whole team approach and everyone's slumping. You got to blame the coaches. I'm going to credit the players when it's good, and I'm going to rip the players when it's bad. This is not Victor Rodriguez's fault. It's Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Ariz, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill, Gavin Sheets. It's their fault. They're the ones hitting. Victor Rodriguez can give them suggestions. He can give them tendencies of Chris Bassett and Kevin Gossman. That's really all he can do is, hey, man, put a good swing on it, barrel it. I don't think for a second that he said, hey, don't hit home runs. Don't. But one thing I don't want to do, Ben, is I don't want to yank the e-brake, 50 games in or whatever and say, guys, let's just get up there and hack and let's get up there and try to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
What's really wrong here is launch angle. And that's a tough thing to fix if you're a hitter. Here's another surprising stat. There were 13 balls last night that had exit velocities over 100 miles an hour. Padres had 9 of them. They're hitting the ball hard. It's not resulting in anything good. It's not resulting in home runs or extra base hits. Occasionally it results in a single, and they're not coming through in the clutch. If you're a hitting coach, what's your job? I want my guys to go up there and hit the ball hard.
Barrel it.
All right, they did. They hit the ball hard.
I think our barrel rate is really low.
Well, because barrel rate includes launch angle. In which they're hitting the ball hard. It's just going low.
Eric Hosmer.
And that is the main issue right now.
114 mile an hour worm burner to second base.
Yeah, that's right now. That is the biggest. That's why their barrel rate is so low, second lowest in all of baseball. It's not because they don't hit the ball hard. I think people think, oh, they're a bunch of punch and Judy hitters. They're not. Their exit velocities are quite.
I wonder where they
good.
rank in EV.
I'm not sure if they have. Yeah, if they overall
sure they do.
stat on that somewhere, they probably do. I think they'd probably be just fine.
They have stats on farts per game. Like they're
hitting
velocity.
The ball hard. It is not going in the air, and that is the main issue right now. I think for the Padres offense.
Michael asks in the chat why they're not running. We asked Jesse Agler this yesterday, and it's a good point that he makes. It's really fun and great at the beginning of the year to be you're fresh. You just came out of spring training. You're fired up. At this point in the season already, man, you're a little bit banged up. You've already lost some guys to injuries. I don't know that Schilt is necessarily putting the red light on anybody, but I can also see why you wouldn't want to run yourself out of innings right now with the offense scuffling. I mean, how mad would you be? How mad would you be?
Kirk is a really good catcher. Throws out a ton of runners. I think he's thrown out 9 runners in 21. I think they said tries. I mean, it's an incredible rate. The last thing you want to do when you're struggling is to run yourself out of the few chances that you are getting.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I wasn't like, go, go, go. I mean, they did. I think they stole a base.
Did he get it back?
Jason Hayward got one, didn't he? Yeah. So they did steal a base. I mean, so they are, of the 5 runners that got on, one of them stole second. That's pretty good percentage actually in baseball. You got
to drive them in.
Yeah, I don't think it's the offense. I don't think it's the running game. It's the hitting. It's the hitting with runners in scoring position. It's the not launching the ball into the air, unfortunately, right now for the Padres. And again, I don't know what the solution is. You can retool your swing to
do better.
Well, yeah. I mean,
play better.
You can retool your swing to try to add launch.
It's always fun in the middle of a season.
But it's not something you generally want to do in the middle of the season. That's something you work on in the offseason in the cages. The Padres' philosophy is let's hit the ball hard and take our chances. And they're doing that. And their chances right now are just coming up for nothing. Just nothing at all the last few days. Will it turn around? Probably. Probably will. I mean, we saw this exact same offense work for a month at the start of the season. There's no reason to think it can't work again, but at the moment it's not. And I think my main concern is that they're going to lose confidence, start, being tentative and what we're supposed to even be doing when you get up there. Failure has a way of doing that in baseball.
I mean, you just got, again, so what is such a good line. Again, when you lose 4 in a row, and really, you're struggling offensively. It's hard to say, so what? We'll get them tomorrow. But that's what you have to do. And that's what I hope that these guys are able to do at some point. And yeah, man, I said yesterday, you got to rip that Band-Aid off. You got to get that. Somebody hits a double and you single them in. You got to get that first knock and all right, we can breathe again. Like
I'd rather have that than a home run.
100%. Me too, Paulie.
Get that monkey off the back.
Get a guy.
Go.
Get a guy to second.
Get some confidence.
And Gavin Sheets hits one to the gap and you score 1-0. Like, oh my God, we did it. And I just,
it's like when you say hitting's contagious. It doesn't mean, so-and-so got a hit with runners in scoring position. The next guy's obviously going to do it on the first opportunity. It just means guys that could be like 6 hitters away in the lineup. They go, finally there we go, guys. Let's go.
We can breathe.
And then they start feeling better. The whole lineup starts feeling better.
It's the same thing when you're pitching, and you can't find the zone. And then you finally like, all right. And you lock one in and shoot down the middle. You're like, yes, it's this collective sigh of relief, that, okay, I still have this ability. We still know how to do this. And, that's what I'm hoping for today against Kevin Gossman. I mean, again, he's going to be twirling and carving, and he's not a comfortable guy to get right against. But then again, who's a comfortable guy to get right against right now for the San Diego Padres? Rich Hill? I have no idea. I feel like Ben could get some outs tonight right now. They're just not.
To me, the main issue is you had two guys in Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill who were on a clip where they were both hitting like over 400 for a stretch. And now they're on a clip where they're essentially hitting 0.
Yeah.
I know Jackson had a single yesterday, but Manny's over the losing streak. I think Jackson has 2 ground ball singles in the losing streak. You just took 2 giant contributors in your offense, and they went from 100 miles an hour to dead standstill.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to basically take a wrecking ball to any offense. You take your 2 hottest hitters and turn them into your 2 coldest hitters. There's not an offense in baseball that really totally survives that kind of swing. So until Manny and Jackson start even, getting back, they don't have to go back to hitting 480 all the time, but until they start contributing with some more offense, it's not going to change a ton, right away. They need those guys to contribute.
And there's like, hey, don't panic. I'm not panicked at all. It's a boring watch. I mean, it's just not good baseball. Again, I trust the track records of the 4 of the big 5.
When you say it's not good baseball, I don't think you mean that this team doesn't know what it's doing good baseball. It's not good. It's not good baseball to watch.
No, not even a little.
It's not because they're sloppy. They're not mentally out of it.
No,
it's not aesthetically pleasing.
It's just not aesthetically pleasing.
Well, yeah.
It's not
Anytime you score one run,
0
runs, you score 3 runs in 4 games. You're not going to win a lot of baseball.
I do think like there are teams that play bad baseball, like the Angels we watch. They play bad baseball. The Padres aren't playing bad baseball. They're playing aesthetically unenjoyable baseball because they're not hitting, which is a totally different thing.
Darren says we can't dump games and just say, oh, it's no big deal. It's early. You really don't have a choice. I mean, that's kind of like you've dumped these games already. It sucks. You didn't take advantage of some scuffling teams in your division, but you've got 100+ games to go to figure it out. And, if you ask me today, do I think they'll figure it out? My answer is yes. I do think that Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, Luis Ariz, Fernando Tatis Jr. will hit. That's something I do feel pretty confident in. If they don't, I'm happy to wear the egg on my face.
There's really nothing to do other than wait.
That's it.
Until they start.
And it's the worst. Waiting is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And
they, as we said yesterday, they're all going to go through slumps over the course of the season.
Sucks when they slump at the same time.
It's hard when it happens to coincide with each other's slumps.
But,
it looks like this.
Look, somebody's got to step up. Manny Machado needs to step up. He's got it. You can't fall off a cliff. You just can't have that 6, 7, 8 games where you fall off a cliff.
He and Jackson both look like they're pressing a little bit.
Like both of them are like, they have that look.
Squeezing it real tight. Like they want to get up there and do something big damage every single time.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, Darren. Flip this. Do something. Switch it up just a little bit tonight. You're giving us grilled cheese sandwiches for 6 nights in a row, and, they're making us sick every night. Switch it up a little bit. Throw a little ham on there. What's that called? The croque monsieur? Make me a croque monsieur instead.
I guess for me,
croque monsieur,
the
monsieur, croque madame, and a croque monsieur.
And I want to move to France and with French like that. Give me a croque monsieur, please.
The light at the end of the tunnel for me is that May is almost over, and I don't have the numbers on hand right now, but I know Manny Machado mashes in June.
Yeah,
mashes in June.
Shout out to his family, to Nam Peterson, coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. That was a sad one yesterday. I was at my desk at Channel 10 when the alert came over the wire. George Wendt yesterday at the age of 72. George Wendt, who was famously Norm Peterson on the sitcom Cheers. Now, we're going to date ourselves a little bit, but Cheers, probably the most seminal show, I would say, maybe of my lifetime, certainly in terms of sitcoms.
Yeah.
Just
Seinfeld.
Like,
Cheers.
Seinfeld is definitely up there for people, but Cheers kind of paved the way before Seinfeld. And I've seen every episode of Cheers probably multiple times.
I think I have too.
Over the course of my life.
How you doing, Norm? What do you know? Not enough.
Norm. So good.
Afternoon, everybody. Yeah, Norm. Better give me a tall one in case I like it.
So good.
It got me thinking about that show yesterday and, the brilliance of it. And part, I think, of the brilliance of Cheers is that almost every single character had a different comedic style.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And everyone had a different favorite. Like, who did you find the funniest on the show? Because they had, obviously, Norm was kind of he was the wry, sarcastic. Cliff Clavin was the buffoon. Carla was the insult comedian. Then there was the dynamic between Ted Danson and Shelley Long, Sam and Diane.
I was a Mayday Malone fan.
You liked Sam?
Yeah, I mean, he was a Lothario, and when I was a kid, I thought that probably part of my toxic masculinity growing up was Jack Tripper and Sam Mayday Malone. Just girls all the time. Just had girls with him all the time. Jack would go on 2 dates at the same time. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, he was the cool, smooth, funny one. But they were all funny in their different ways on the show. Woody was the dumb.
Woody
idiot,
was like
funny,
the hick. Yeah,
and I liked Woody.
I liked Woody,
and I of course like the erudite academic
Frasier
humor of Frasier.
Indeed, you did. I did too.
But
it was
just
great.
About every person's sense of humor, like no matter who you are, was addressed by one of the characters on Cheers, and it became such a great ensemble of a cast that and Norm's one-liners coming into the bar, just iconic television.
It was so talented. I loved him as Fat Sam, the drug dealer in Fletch, just sitting on the beach. He was so good. He's just just one of those guys where you see and you're like, you know what? I know that guy's a nice guy in real life. I'd never met him. I would bet you anything. It's like John Candy. It just had that kind of vibe and quality to him where you're like, that dude is a good guy. Like, he's a good guy. Everybody probably really likes working with him. Just a good dude.
God bears.
I wonder, I'm sure there were a couple of things. There was a George Wendt show that lasted for 1 year, but he literally was never the star of anything. He was always a guy who appeared for a short time on screen with a bunch of other people, but made everything that he was in just that much better.
No question.
Just by being in it, and never stole the screen. It was never the star of the show.
Bit player.
It was just a bit player.
But you can't have it without him.
Bit players are so important.
We got some youngsters in the chat. They're like, I've never seen Cheers. I'll be honest, doesn't hold up that well. I tried to watch it recently. Maybe it was like a year ago. It was on Hulu or something. And I was like, I'm going to give this a whirl.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
It's just, things just look old now, and the jokes are old, and maybe you've seen them before. But I'll tell you, like, he's in Fletch. Fletch holds up to this day. Like, it's still one of the best, most quotable movies I've ever seen. But some of the old sitcoms are tough to watch.
Yeah, I'm 34. I think I was like 3 or 4 years old when Cheers wrapped up back in the 90s. So, the reruns were always on TV. So you saw it, and I was entertained by it, but I wasn't also like a 9-year-old seeking out Cheers
for sure
or anything like that. I've gone back, and you're right. It doesn't quite hold up very well, but you still respect it.
Oh, of course.
I read
it had such a good run.
I read yesterday about George Wendt. So he passed away yesterday morning. Yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the season or series finale of Cheers. They said, I want to say it was 80 million people worldwide watched it. It was the second most watched series finale behind
Seinfeld.
No.
Friends.
MASH is always the
and I think it was like the 7th highest rated non-sports event.
What happened
ever.
in the finale? I don't remember.
The bar closed at the end. Sam, the bar didn't close, but it was like
that was it.
At the end, someone tries to open the door and Sam kind of yells out, "We're closed."
And that was it.
That was kind of it at the end.
I don't remember it at all. Well, you know how we do it on the show.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
And by his family, we mean personal shout out to Jason Sudeikis. That is George Wentz's nephew.
Had no idea.
I didn't either.
That they were related. Just
Jason's mom was George Wentz's sister.
Seems like such a good dude.
I think one thing I can really appreciate, there was 275 episodes of Cheers, and they rarely left that bar. Like, yeah. I mean,
so you might get a scene in like Sam's apartment or Diane's apartment
every once in a while,
and keep it easy, right? There's going to be in the
window
bar
washer. They just kept it in the bar, and they have.
Can you go to the bar every single day? Holy smokes!
To have to come up with different plot points, and they all have to be centered around someone coming to the bar and something wacky happening.
Yeah.
275 different times.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, Norm! How's life treating you, Norm? I just ran over its dog.
Just priceless. I really liked it when I was a kid. I thought the idea of Sam Mayday Malone being the former closer for the Red Sox, I thought that was the coolest storyline. Tony Danza in Who's the Boss was a former St. Louis Cardinal or like a prospect. I can't remember if he actually made it. Yeah, I like
Life
that.
after baseball.
Yeah, I like that
points.
bit. I like that. It's good.
So it was they called it must-see TV on Thursday nights on NBC. And it was the line at Cheers was always the anchor, but they had other shows. Seinfeld eventually kind of became part of it, but there was Night Court, there was what were some of the other shows? I mean, it was really about Cheers, though, and it was like propping up everything else until Seinfeld came along and then became the next, anchor show for NBC that people had to watch every Thursday night.
Dub J says the best part of his interview is how he hated the beer. Did he actually drink beer sitting there?
I can't imagine
every day.
Every day you say.
He said it was some non-alcoholic concoction.
Yeah, that they had to make. Yeah, because you couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't drink beer.
I mean, you could, but
for every scene and every set, you'd be
a rough day.
Wasted every single
Probably
day.
wouldn't have made it to 76.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. The Jeopardy episode of Cheers remains the greatest, in my opinion. Top 3 greatest episodes of television ever. When Cliff is on it and he gets like all the questions
because he's such a know-it-all.
Yeah,
he gets everything. He's so far ahead.
Yeah.
And then he bets it all on the final Jeopardy, and he doesn't know.
He has no idea.
So he just says, "Who are 3 people who have never been in my kitchen?" And then just goes and says, "Well, it's true. I was right about it."
I saw a thing come across my feed this morning. There was a triple stumper on Jeopardy last night, Benny. It was a sports question. I'll run it by you if I can remember it. It is, what is the least densely populated state to have a football team? Hit the music.
Least
Wisconsin,
densely populated state to have a football team. Densely populated.
Least densely.
Yeah.
Sparsely populated.
So you need some good area.
Yep.
Because
gotta have area.
I'm gonna go with what is Colorado.
Good guess, but no. Nevada.
Oh yeah, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Now.
Yeah,
big old desert
Trick
with
question.
nobody in it.
That's right.
That's tough. I didn't even really think of Nevada.
The least sparse, the most sparsely populated state to have a football team, and it got all 3 of them.
When you didn't say yes to Wisconsin, my next guess, I was kind of moving towards Nevada.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about Vegas though, but I was going to say Kansas City.
Yeah, Missouri's not small. Like nothing east of the Mississippi. The states are
Right.
too small. The
They're too
population
small.
is too dense.
It's gotta be.
It had to be something out west. I
Yep.
knew. But yeah, I didn't even think of Nevada.
I was like, well, it's not Seattle. It's not any of the Californias.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Nevada. I saw that.
Now
I
the
think it happened
smallest,
last night.
obviously, the smallest market is Green Bay.
Yes.
Which is just a tiny little town that's about an hour from Milwaukee, which
Right.
isn't a giant market either, which kind of shows you the difference between football's economics and baseball's economics. You would never be. The Brewers can barely survive in Milwaukee economically. So how can the Green Bay Packers do it? Well, it's completely different. They get the same TV money that every other team gets. They sell out every single game because they have fans who are willing to travel once a week to go to their games. But that would never work in baseball. It's a completely different economy.
Well, since we're talking Green Bay Packers and television, I watched the new Netflix documentary yesterday, The Fall of Favre, I think it is. Wow.
Strap in, huh?
It is gnarly. Now, we've had Jen Sturger on this show a handful of times. She's great.
Remember when our boss noticed Jen Sturger because of her rear end? Yeah, her derriere.
She was
remember that?
Like reaching into the back of an SUV.
And he goes, "Oh, there's Jen. Excuse me?" He recognized her from behind.
Yeah. We told her immediately.
Yeah.
Right in front of him.
We were supposed to meet her and we couldn't find her. And he goes, "Oh, that's her." Yeah. And she was bending over to get like lingerie. I'm not kidding. She had just bought lingerie out of the back of the out of the back.
No, Adam didn't do anything creepy that would be,
It's kind of creepy.
I mean, that's kind of creepy just to see somebody's butt.
I recognize
that's
that
her
butt anywhere.
Yeah. Is that Jen Sturger? It is. Yeah.
He was right.
Like a hawk.
He was. That's right.
That's her. It was one of the funniest effing things that has ever happened to me.
And to tell her immediately, and she just laughed and looked at him like,
died.
Okay, dude.
She died.
So she's become a good friend of the show, and we all knew her story. We all lived her story along with her. It was one of the first viral internet stories,
right?
Like how Brett Favre DM'd her on MySpace, and some website called Deadspin published her story without her approval.
Right.
And they said, well, we don't care what you want.
Did they interview her in this?
She's the star of the documentary.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
She is in it the entire time. And dude, like Brett Favre, for a lot of reasons, this guy sucks. And I don't think he gets nearly enough
hate
crap thrown at him. Like he should be lumped in with like people like Ray Rice, Michael Vick, Lance Armstrong, you name it, scumbags of sports.
Wow.
He is on that list. I mean, to steal, first of all, everything he did to Jen, and who knows how many other women.
Correct.
Awful. DMing her like, hey,
he sent his wiener, didn't he?
Yeah, he DM'd her on MySpace when he signed up with the Jets, and she was working there, and he's like, he used an alias, and he's like, I'm the new guy, I have gray hair, that's all I can say on this platform, but I'd love your number, just give it to the PR guy and he'll give it to me. And she's like, absolutely not, I'm just trying to do my job. Then you fast forward, like the last 20 minutes of the documentary is all about the stuff in Mississippi and stealing, I think it was like $8 million of welfare money for like the poorest of the poor in our country. And he took like $3 million to build a new volleyball arena. And everyone's like, well, he played football there. It makes sense if he like renovated the locker room or something. No, his daughter played on the volleyball team, so she wanted a new arena. So he went and stole $3 million, built it for her, and then paid himself a $1.1 million.
What,
and like
a consultant fee or something?
Bro, they have text messages like to the mayor of this town, and he's like, "There's no way they'll know where this money came from, right? You can't track. If you pay me, you can't track it, right?
Oh my god!" And
you're just like, dude, you suck.
Yeah, that's
and he's
bad
still
human.
To some people at least, Packers fans, football fans, Mississippi, whatever, they still treat him like a god.
Crazy.
Obviously, he's not the only guy and athlete who's put a woman in a bad situation, but I think of that from Jen's perspective.
Oh, terrible.
Knowing no matter what she did in that situation, she was screwed.
If she slept with him, she was wrong.
She was she was cheating. She was sleeping with a guy who's married.
Yeah.
And obviously, she's just trying to get famous and trying to be with Brett Favre because he's Brett Favre and he's the quarterback of the Jets. And you're just looking to increase your brand. You were a nobody and you're just trying to be with Brett Favre. But she says no, seemingly trying to do the right thing. And she still ends up absolutely in the media spin cycle
for years
about it.
This was all filmed in like the last year, call it, the interviews with her. She's like, to this day, I've never met Brett Favre.
Oh my God.
He would look at her in the tunnel Like when they're getting ready to run out on the field, he would she'd catch him trying to stare at her, but she's like, I've never shaken his hand. I've never said one word to him.
He's never apologized?
Nothing.
Man.
They've never spoken. And yet he ruined her life. She had a TV show, an online television show that she had just started right before that Deadspin story came out in 2011 or whenever it was. She goes, the show made it 25 days after that story dropped, and I was fired. And my career was over.
Gnarly.
And she literally did nothing wrong at all.
No, nothing.
She
had a MySpace account. That's it. That's all. I mean,
the whole thing all started with she went to a Florida State game as a student.
We all saw
and creepy ass Brent
Musburger was like,
she was wearing a bikini top or whatever and cheering in the front row. And he goes, well, 1,500 people have just applied to Florida State, if you know what I mean.
I literally was watching that game and went, oh my God, what was that?
And she talks about, she's like, yeah, I milked it. I played the game because Maxim called me, Playboy called, Sports Illustrated called after that. I was able to get job opportunities because of that. She's like, I went viral and we didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, viral wasn't a thing.
But then that led to the Jets job and that led to Brett Favre. And it's wild.
That's weird because we know her. She's such a sweet person.
Yeah.
And man, that's tough, dude. That is tough. Yeah, we all remember the FSU girls. And I mean, that was like a momentous day. It was crazy. Yeah, I remember Musburger. That's who it was.
Yeah,
just creeping out so hardcore.
They show a clip. She interviewed Musburger years later.
Did? Oh my God!
She was doing some college basketball sideline gig, and he was calling the game. And she goes, "Brent Musburger, great to finally meet you."
She's so good. She's creepy fantastic. Ass. Yeah, she's doing stand up and doing really well, and good to see that she's recovered somewhat from that. And I think there's a lot of therapy. And
I texted her yesterday. I said it was just really good to see you talk about it so confidently and openly.
Yeah,
because I can't imagine how difficult it was to build up. I mean, it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
To build up to that, it had to have been just hell.
Well, there's a don't do this story before we even get to don't do this, Paulie. Thank you for that. Don't do this is next. We got an ump show. For you with a special guest appearance by one Don Orsillo.
Indeed.
If you wondered what he was up to last night, not calling the Padres game with Jesse filling in for him on television, well, we've got exactly where Don was last night, and it involves our Don't Do This story. We'll get to that coming up next after a check of traffic. It's Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Before we get to Kelly, though, I want to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. It is still spring. It is May, which means if you start the SDFatLoss.com program now, by the end of July, and remember, that's still 2 to 3 months of summer in San Diego still remaining, you're going to be a new you. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days, up to a pound of fat per day, by following their doctor-developed proprietary strategies that involve eating real foods, just in the right portions at the right times, and losing weight fast, naturally, safely. No drugs, no injections, no prepackaged meals, no bars, no shakes, no exercising required. That's a lot of no's of things you don't want to do. All you have to do is follow the program. Hey, I follow the program. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I even had a whole cheat weekend when we went on vacation. I gained 7 pounds, lost it right back, and then kept on going. This was during my 60 days, and it still works because they support you. They know how to do it, and then they know how to maintain the weight loss once you're done. I've kept the weight off for almost 2 years. Find out how it can work for you by going to sdfatloss.com and scheduling your free consultation. Sign up now in the month of May. Get $200 off during their spring special at sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. So where was Don Orsillo last night? The answer, back in Boston. His old stomping ground.
Freaked me out. I did text him yesterday. I said, "You're back in Beantown." He goes, "Yep." And I said, "Well, I'm glad we extended you because I don't need him getting very comfortable back in Fenway Park. You know what I mean?
I don't think you could ever feel comfortable in Fenway Park compared to Petco Park.
It's true. It's true. Or in Boston is in comparison to San Diego. Right. But, man, some fireworks last night. Red Sox Mets, pretty good series there. And Red Sox right-hander, Walker Buehler, got off the IL, came out and made it all of 2 2/3 innings, was pitching to Francisco Lindor, threw kind of a back foot slider, and in fact, it was a back foot slider. Lindor kind of turns his foot, nicks the corner of his foot, and takes his base.
That's fine. He can do that.
It's absolutely legal. He didn't lean into it per se. It was just kind of one of those, I turned my foot.
Take what you can get.
Take what you can get. Gets himself on base. Yep. Buehler was not happy about it. So then Lindor, with Juan Soto at the plate, Lindor goes to steal second. Buehler pumps a fastball right down the middle. However, their catcher is Ramon Vasquez. No, it's God dang it, what's his name?
Ramon Vasquez.
No,
he's
that's
the bench coach. Yeah, that's right. Who is the catcher?
Anyway, catcher goes to throw him down, and he's kind of standing up as he does it, right? And the umpire's kind of blocked. Can't see that this pitch is right down the middle, right down Broadway. Calls it a ball. Throw down a second. They don't get him out. Walker's looking at home plate like, hey, that was right down the middle. And Mike Easterbrook rips his helmet off and walks towards the mound. Get on the mound. Get on the mound. And he's like, what? What is your problem? Puts the arms out, and it's getting a little, heated. We've got Don Orsillo on the call.
Looked like Buehler started that. And then Estabrook told him to back up and don't keep coming in. And then Bueller continued to, and then he tossed him. Right down the middle is
I
what
think
he was
he's
saying.
complaining about the strike call, I guess. Is that what it was?
Must be, because it was called the ball. The count was 2-0. I'll call the game, you throw the game. And now you're gone.
And that's it. Runs him, runs Alex
What a
Cora.
clown.
It's a clown show. Man, that is my starting pitcher. He's out there in a really, really big game, and you missed the strike call. I told you, hey, man, that ball was right down the middle. Now, he was screened. He was screened by the catcher. There's no question about it. But, hey, man, look, they're going to miss calls. Walker needs to walk. Both things can be true. Walker needs to be a little bit more composed, but he's pretty fired up, man. He's got Juan Soto up at the plate. Throws a good pitch to him. Didn't like Lindor kind of leaning into it, but it just went out of hand in Boston last night.
To take the mask off and walk
That's the
towards
thing.
the mound. You're asking for a fight.
You want a
ask
fight.
for it,
Bueller
you
was
got
not
it.
subtle about his yelling at the umpire, which that's on Walker Bueller. I do think it is one of the more frustrating situations. Is essentially Walker Bueller, do your job. Your job is to call the balls and strikes, whether the guy moves or not. Happened in the Padres game last night. Alejandro Kirk got crossed up. It was a strike, right at the knees, right at the center of the plate, but because he got crossed up and didn't catch it, it was called a ball. I mean, it's one of the best arguments for the automatic balls and strike system.
Yes.
Because my entire lifetime, umps get fooled by catchers when they don't catch it properly, which should have nothing to do with whether a ball is a strike or not. It shouldn't be require the catcher to catch it properly. How many times has a catcher got up to try to throw a guy out at second because he's stealing and lost a strike because of it, because he's not allowed to frame it? That shows you how reliant the umpires are on the framing of the catchers to call balls and strikes. Now, finally, I don't know how the radio hosts in Boston are going to handle this, but defending his pitcher, Alex Cora, got thrown out of the game, which means essentially a second straight night off for Alex Cora after he missed the game for the graduation of his daughter. Now they won again. So perhaps Alex Cora should just stay away. They're doing just fine without Alex Cora. Better, actually, without Alex Cora.
Having your bullpen having to cover, it was a 2-0 win. Having to cover all of those innings from Bueller getting tossed. But yeah, man, again, the umpire making himself really a part of the game is a tough look. And the ripping of the mask, the stalking towards the mound, looking for him to say something. The provocation of players is what always kind of bugs me. But hey, man, it happened. They ended up getting the win anyway.
All right, I've got a pet peeve. Paul shares this pet peeve, and I am talking to you, Dodger Stadium. I am talking to you, Rogers Center, and I'm even talking to you, Petco Park. I don't know if there's any ballpark in baseball. It's not as bad as Petco. Helps that there's no roof.
Also helps that we don't hit home runs. So that's.
The sound effects have to be turned down.
Our only sound effects are 45,000 people losing their minds.
That's true.
When there's a home run.
The sound effects have gotten out of control in Major League Baseball after whatever. And in this case,
Yankees are so bad too. It's just constant.
Yankee Stadium. It's
Hey,
constant.
let's go. Between every pitch.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I mean, yeah.
It's like a Seals game in there, dude.
And I don't know if they turned it up last night at the Rogers Center because it was Looney Dog night and they were selling hot dogs for essentially 80 cents, whatever a Canadian dollar is worth, a loony. And they were selling, tens of thousands of these things, so they had extra people on a Tuesday.
We played this an hour ago in our Padres wrap-up. Maybe you didn't hear it with the music behind it.
When the Blue Jays hit a home run, they hit two of them. You can't hear anything. You can't hear yourself think. You can't even hear Bob Scanlon trying to call the dang home run.
First pitch swinging, fly ball to Fernando. He looks up. This one is gone. A line drive shot by Santander. And all of a sudden, the Jays have a 3-0 lead.
No, that's a cruise ship actually just docked, and they're letting people off. So that's not what that was, guys.
It's gone.
It's a ship coming.
Now Blue Jays bullpen. 1-0 Jays.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Bob? You got no idea.
I said
It's gotten really annoying. Well, why are we doing this? Is it for attention spans? Is it like
I don't know.
Baseball used to be such a quiet, beautiful, calm. It doesn't have. You don't have to turn every baseball game into a soccer match or a football game or anything like that, or a lacrosse game.
our sons and deer. And all of a sudden,
Back in 20 minutes, we'll be departing for Greece. 20-minute call time.
Mr. Woods, please meet your family on the pool deck.
The casino will be open once we are
so
5
good.
miles away from shore in international waters.
So good, dude. All right, I got to do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Little update on yesterday's story. We mentioned that they were meeting to decide if they were going to let the NFL players participate in the 2028 Olympics in the sport of flag football. And unanimously, team owners approved the resolution to allow players to participate in the games. Roger Goodell, commissioner, says it's an incredible honor for any athlete to represent their country in the Olympics, which is the pinnacle of global sport. I know firsthand the inclusion of flag football in the Olympics has sparked a tremendous amount of excitement among NFL players interested in the chance to compete for their country on the world stage. Yeah, man, these football players now get a chance to go win a gold medal, which is pretty awesome.
That's cool.
They don't have
But
football
I like
in the
they still
Olympics.
have to try out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I imagine they'll look pretty good in the tryouts, but they're still going to have to try out. And there's a limit of just one player per team that's allowed. So they're not going to be able to take like 7 guys from the same team.
Right.
So there are some restrictions on it. But yeah, I think it's an interesting development for the upcoming Olympics here in Southern California.
I mean, Rob Gronkowski said he would literally come out of retirement to win a gold medal for Team USA. I thought that was pretty cool. These guys are excited about it. I'm excited to see what they can do out there. It's going to be fun.
And that is Don't and Do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we'll come back and look around the rest of baseball. Things are bad for the Padres right now, but they're not exactly perfect for all the other contenders either. And I think it's important to make that note that other teams are struggling as well. It's not just the Padres. Maybe the frustrating part is that the Padres could actually be taking advantage of some of these other teams' struggles right now, and they aren't. We'll get into it when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Let me tell you guys quickly about the amazing work at QC Kinetics that they did for me. And listen, I had a goal when I started with this trainer back in January. I wanted to be able to bench press 225 pounds. I've never done it. I wanted to do it. Got 215 up yesterday for the first time ever. And I thought about it driving home, like how 3 years ago I couldn't play the guitar. I couldn't swing a golf club or even a little T-ball bat because of the pain in my wrist. They were degenerating. I didn't know what was going on, really panicked about it. Went to QC Kinetics. Now my wrists are stronger than ever. I'm lifting heavier than ever. That is 1,000% thanks to the work at QC Kinetics that they did. 5 treatments is what it took for me, and I've never had an issue since and hope to never have an issue again. But if I do, I know exactly where I'm going. It's been years now. QC Kinetics can get you back doing the things that you love to do. Setting personal records for yourself, man. It's been incredible, and I'm so thankful for them. All natural cellular level option with lasting relief. It is regenerative cell therapy, and the patient satisfaction reports there are astonishing. I am one of them. I will always tell you about the great work that they do at QC Kinetics. So if you're having awful joint pain in your knees, your back, just call them today, 619-614-PAIN. They will give you a free consultation. Learn all about these cutting-edge treatments, can help you live your best life. 619-614-PAIN. Once again, 619-614-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Which National League contenders can get it figured out fastest? I think that's going to be one of the really important stories as we head into the summer this year. Welcome back. Ben and Woods with you on 97.3 The Fan. Padres fall to the Toronto Blue Jays 3-0. Now a season-long 4-game losing streak. And you're going to have a couple of 3-gamers, a couple of 4-gamers over the course of the season. Question is, can you avoid the 8-gamer? Can you avoid the stretch where you lose 11 out of 13? Because that can really damage, your spot in the standings. Four games. Last time the Padres lost 3 in a row, I think they went on to win 6 in a row.
They did.
So, you certainly haven't done any irreparable damage if you're the San Diego Padres at this point. In fact, you haven't lost any ground at all to the LA Dodgers, as Woods pointed out. Both teams are 4-6 in their last 10 games. Haven't lost any ground to the New York Mets, who are 4-6 in their last 10 games. You lost a game to the Giants, who are 5-5 in their last 10 games. There are other teams that are supposedly playoff contenders that are also having some issues, different issues. Padres are the ones with the biggest offensive issues right now in the National League, but
they are offensive. Yeah.
Yeah. The big part of the game of baseball is when you struggle, how quickly can you stop struggling and figuring it out? There's no team that doesn't struggle at some point over the course of the season. That is not on the table as an option. So this stretch was inevitable in some sort of form for the Padres. The question is, how quickly can they end it and get back on track? Because they will get back on track at some point. Might be today, might be in 2 weeks. If it's in 2 weeks, all right, then you've created yourself a big problem. If it's today, we won't even remember this 4-game stretch, in a couple of months. It'll be a blip on a very long screen of a 162-game season.
Yeah.
But if it goes on for 2.5 weeks and you go 2-13 during that stretch, then you have a real problem.
You've got a problem.
Yeah.
Some would say. The expert would say that you've got a problem. I don't know. It was funny because we were in here yesterday. We're like, man,
you got a problem.
Yeah, you got a problem. You can't hit. We were in here yesterday going, hey, at least tomorrow we've got a game to talk about. I couldn't want to talk about a game less than the one I watched last night. I mean, it was just nothing. There's just nothing to talk about. Nothing going. Just couldn't get anything going last night. Dylan Cease and really our entire starting rotation, man, they've answered the call many, many times this year. They have to be feeling the heat and the pressure of it too. Like, well, I've got to be perfect. I mean, I have to be perfect. The way this offense is going, they scored 3 runs in their last 4 games, Benny. It's really tough. You can't make a mistake, and it's hard to live and die like that as a starting pitcher or a guy in the bullpen as well. You can't cough up a lead because the offense is scuffling so badly right now. You feel like if you cough up a lead, Adrian Morejon coming in the other night, giving up a home run, like, well, all right, that's it. Like, you're done. You're absolutely toast. It's that bad feeling that you had in 2023 of, Xander boots one in the first inning. He crawls in a hole. Next guy gets a knock. Next guy hits a 3-run homer. It's 3-0 in the first inning. You're like, that's game. 100% that's game. That's how we all felt in 2023. Damn near every night it felt like. And, there's little glimpses of that weighing in right now where you're going, they just can't get a thing going. Nobody's hitting for power. Nobody's smoking the ball, out of the ballpark. Can't get a rally going. It's just tough. It's tough sledding.
I think and this is a very simplistic stat, but there are only 4 teams in the National League who have scored fewer runs than the Padres. Obviously, the Rockies and the Pirates and the Marlins are 3 of them.
Yeah.
And the Braves are the other one, who have gotten off to a really slow start. And by the way, Padres scored 21 in one game.
Right.
So, that
21.
Yeah, they did it, and you can't take it out of the stats.
But if
at
you
the same
did,
time, it doesn't really help you much. Every single one of those runs beyond the first one was just piling on in that game. But overall, the Padres offense has not done well. Even when they were passing the baton early in the season, it felt like they were unbeatable, for the first couple of weeks. Like, this offense is so good. Really, now that we have a bigger sample size, it's not
good.
It's not a good offense.
It's not good.
Because the point of offense is to score runs, and they haven't done that. Now, the pitching staff is fantastic. They've given up the second fewest runs in the entire National League. Only the Mets, who have given up 161, is less than the 164 that the Padres are giving. The Dodgers are giving up 221 runs.
Yeah.
That's 60 more than the Padres have allowed.
What have they scored?
281 runs.
How many have we scored?
199.
Man.
Yikes.
Wowzers. Well, that's 90-something more runs? Is that right?
82
more runs? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
82 more runs.
Whew. And we went through some of the data earlier. What is the issue? Because the Padres are actually, bat speed is good, exit velocity is good, they're hitting the ball hard, but they're making a lot of outs because they're not getting the ball in the air enough. So they don't need to swing harder necessarily. A lot of people, you just need to swing out of your shoes and hit some home runs. They're already hitting the ball hard. They just need to hit the ball up more. I think that is the main problem with the Padres offense. And even when they were doing it well, that was still something that was fairly noticeable from the Padres, even in the first month of the season.
Yeah, I want to say it was letters to AJ. No surprise. He does a lot of the heavy lifting for this show. I wanted to say recently he talked about the pull. This team needs to pull the ball a little bit more. And it is, hey, man, look, it's a thing of beauty when Manny Machado goes right center gap, even though he hasn't done that in about a week. It's a thing of beauty when they do that. But how you get those home runs is being able to pull the ball. Jackson Merrill being one of them, Fernando Tatis Jr. being another one. Yeah, man, the lack of the ability to hit it out of the park is hurting this team right now. And again, I think, I was thinking about our conversations at the beginning. I think we were all dumb when we said, or were we dumb? This is a brand of baseball as it was right there. We said, man, this is sustainable. Like you can continue to move the line. You can, and they obviously won some ball games that way. In the modern game, though, you need to have the ability to hit it in the gap and to hit it over the fence.
It's actually hypocritical a little bit on our part and fans' part. I want to get into that after a quick check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Well, speaking of car maintenance, we got a stalled vehicle in middle lanes. Sucks to be this person. Northbound 5, right before the 54. Collision on the Spring Street on-ramp to westbound 8 does not appear to be blocking lanes. Car and motorcycle involved. And we got this crash involving a car and a big rig westbound 52 past the 125. It's over the right shoulder. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes, and you're road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So here's why we're all kind of hypocrites. A few weeks ago, we were talking about how the Padres do it better than every other team. They don't wait around
sometimes.
They don't wait around for the 3-run homer. They don't have any 3-run homers, but they don't wait around for it.
They do. They have
it's not
one.
feast or famine. They now have two, both in the same game.
Yeah,
against the Colorado
Rockies.
Yeah, when they scored 21 runs. They don't strike out like other teams do. They're not swinging out of their shoes for the fences. This is a beautiful form of baseball. They hit line drives. They hit the ball hard. They go the other way. They're not just trying to pull the ball all the time, because that's ugly baseball. It's boring when you're just waiting around for the 3-run home run. We like our Padres. It's a much more aesthetically pleasing brand of baseball until
You idiot.
Until it isn't.
You moron.
I hate this job. When you start going the other way and you're not getting hits, you're hitting the ball at people, and you're not getting the ball in the air. So yeah, you're hitting lineouts. Padres hit a lot of lineouts. I don't know what the numbers are in terms of like statistically, but they line into a number of outs. Or they had hard one hoppers that turn into a lot of double plays, and all of a sudden we go, they play the wrong brand of baseball now. This is the same brand of baseball they were playing, and it went from the best brand of baseball to
sustainable,
unwatchable.
It went from sustainable. You
changing
can do
the
this,
game.
You can do this all. You're gonna start to see a lot of teams follow suit here. I think was something that we said. Probably me. Yeah. Well, you look like an idiot sometimes in this game.
I mean, well, were we idiots then, or are we idiots now? Should we not be panicking?
It's a great point.
We don't know.
That's a really
we don't know. One of the two times
you
we
just
were
blew
idiots.
my mind, like Socrates, right there. That's some philosophy. Huh? Is it the chicken or the egg? Which one is it?
They really haven't changed anything about who they are and their approach. They're still, hitting their hard line drives and grounders, but they're not finding holes anymore.
This reminds me of SDFC and Mikey Varas and his, his willingness and want to stick to their game plan.
When they lost three in a row.
Yeah.
You know what? You can ask him about that because he will actually be joining us, Mikey Varas, SDFC's head coach.
We'll ask him
I like that.
24 hours from right
we'll
now.
Ask him nothing but Padres questions.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Mikey, what would you say to Mike Schill, fellow head coach? What would you say to Schill? Does he need to just stick? They need to stick to their guns right now. Yeah, it's a tough watch, man. They stink.
Tony says
I'm not excited to watch again tonight. I'll be there.
I'm sick.
I'll be
to my
sitting
stomach.
right there,
Yep.
ready for another punishment. But I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not counting down the minutes until first pitch.
So Tony says they're not grinding at bats. I think there's something there in terms of it. Early in the season, it felt like the Padres were a really tough team to face if you were a pitcher. Now it seems like the easy team to face. They got all their people in the lineup. What's different? I think part of it is they faced some strike throwers lately, and you can't really wait out strike throwers in terms of, hey, let's grind out long at bats and drive up pitch counts. That's tough to do with guys who are just throwing the ball over the plate. But I think another part of that is when you hit the ball, when you get a bunch of singles, and that's tough. That you got traffic on the bases, and that's what's grinding the opponents. But when you hit the ball and it goes at someone and you got no one on base, that's the easiest thing in the world for a pitcher.
Yeah, especially against a team is probably not going to take you bridge. Honestly, like you're feeling, you get the first two guys out of this of an inning, you're like, if this guy hits a home run, it'll be a miracle. So I'm going to attack the zone. When there's no threat really of anybody that can hit the ball out of the ballpark other than Fernando Tatis Jr., you're hunting. You're not afraid to pitch to Luis Ariz. You take your single and move on, knowing that Manny's dying behind him. Like, I'll go after Manny. I'll go after Jackson. Now, eventually, that will catch up. What do we talk about all the time? And what does Schill tell us? This is it's a league and a game of adjustments. Pitchers are making adjustments to us. We are not adjusting to them right now. The Padres had been elite adjusters last year, especially the second half. Elite. Nobody better. Right now, they're just not doing it.
Well, what is the adjustment?
The book is out on us on how to get us out.
What is the adjustment they need to make?
I don't know.
That's the problem.
That's why if I knew, I wouldn't be with you. I would be in Toronto right now, grinding in the cage with the guys. I don't know.
It's still to come. We're going to have Doug Glanville joining us on a Big League Wednesday. We have Take on Woods and a Roundel Report all coming up in the second half of the program. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. The only thing that is more exhausting than watching the Padres is talking about the Padres. Watching that offense will put you to sleep. Talking about that sleep-inducing offense will also make you very tired. I just got very tired out of nowhere. Just hit me like a ton of bricks talking about offensive ineptitude. It is offensive offense from the San Diego Padres right now. Hopefully they can right the ship. I'd like to come in and talk about a win tomorrow at some point. Tomorrow, the next day even. Like let's get this thing back on track. No roundtable tomorrow. Got an early game. At Ben and Woods short show tomorrow. So that's good. Get off
at like 9:02.
9:02. That last 2 minutes is going to be terrible. I promise you that. That's one thing I can promise you. Got Doug Glanville coming up later in the program at 9:35. It's a Big League Wednesday. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Paul, you had basketball last night.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife has been cooking a lot. I see her posting. She does a lot of meal prep.
Yeah.
So she's been cooking a ton.
Sundays and or Mondays are her days in the kitchen, and
So
she just crushes it.
Just crushes it.
Yeah, she cooks a lot of stuff to make it easy to just save it in the fridge
heat and go,
or maybe just all you got to do is make a veggie or something to add to it, and it has been clutch for us.
How do you contribute though to the meal?
Eats it.
I eat it.
You
I
eat it.
taste test.
Taste
I
test.
offer to help, but I'm not as good in the kitchen as her.
And
so
people in the kitchen don't want you in their kitchen.
No, they don't.
The I don't want anybody when I'm doing my steak masterpiece. I don't want anybody near me.
I make sure to help or to offer to help.
You buy the groceries?
I'll get the groceries. Nice. I'll do the dishes.
Okay.
I'll clean up
That's
afterwards.
That's a help. I mean, I think one of the worst parts of cooking is knowing you've made a mess with all these dishes, and then after you're tired and you've made everything, then you've got to wash them all yourself. If you've got someone who's willing to step in and do that, I think that's a big help.
She'll put her headphones on or set up the iPad in the kitchen or something and have a show going, and she will just be gone for like 6 hours. And
6 hours.
She makes like 5 days worth of meals, lunch, dinner, whatever. And then by the end of it, now it's like, call it, 4:00, almost dinner time on a Sunday if she's been cooking all day. And she goes, I'm not hungry. She's like, I've been around the food all day.
Last thing she wants to do.
I don't want to make anything now, and I don't want to eat anything. And I'm like,
well,
all right.
The reason I ask, and so, so your DoorDash bill has been low.
Been pretty low lately, but probably, maybe like on the weekend for Friday, like a Friday night, we'll DoorDash.
So like once a week.
Yeah.
What about you? How many times do you DoorDash a week?
Never. But I know we take out quite a bit. But
That's
I
right, you don't
always
use
go and
DoorDash.
get it myself if we're going to do that.
Cheapest man I've ever met.
Right. It's not. I mean, that's just.
Do you hate convenience?
I don't hate convenience.
Sounds like you do.
I just don't think
for a guy that has two full-time jobs.
So
you don't prioritize your time at home.
How do you eat? What do you eat?
Like if you're paying for dinner, let's call it's $60 to go pick it up. It's $67 to have it delivered to you.
I do my own meal prep, things that are sdfatloss.com friendly for some of my meals. And then other meals at home, generally we'll just get some takeout. But I live in Takeout Central in Encinitas. Like
you really do.
Everything is within 3 minutes of my house. And I really find it hard to justify paying the higher prices, the added fee, the tip that turns a $30 order into a $50 order when all I have to do is go to my car, 3 minutes back, and I've got it myself. It's like, that's not worth $20 extra for me. I just go pick that up myself. I feel like I just made $20 by taking 6 minutes out of my life to go get it and take it home.
Well, and real quick, people in the chat are like, oh, I'm a Grubhub guy. I like Postmates. Just for the sake of this conversation, they're all DoorDash. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
There's
Food
different
delivery services.
Yeah. FDS.
Apps. Yes.
So you you never DoorDash?
Almost never. I couldn't tell you the last time I did.
Really?
Correct.
Dude, we've gotten groceries delivered.
Yeah.
We get Costco delivered.
Look at this.
And it costs.
You want to audit me?
Like Costco, I think they're on Grubhub. I don't know. They have their delivery service. Costco, it costs us like $50. Twice in one day.
Aggressive. Twice in one day. Twice in one day again.
It's gluttonous.
Aggressive. So
I have 2 kids.
Oh,
I have a wife that does not want to cook ever.
Say 2 on Monday, 1 on Wednesday, 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Monday this week. So that's a span of 8 days.
How many times?
7 DoorDashes. So you're averaging close to 1 a day at this point.
I didn't yesterday.
Average check for each DoorDash, one larger one kind of brings up the average, but say around 40 to 45 is the average check, which at 7 DoorDashes essentially in a week is going to be around $240, $250 in DoorDash. Now I assume this includes the tip in the total. That's the all-in. That's the all-in price. Now, is this for just you, or is this?
No, it's for the
everybody?
family, and sometimes just for me.
Sometimes it's just for you.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming $19 at Jersey Mike's is not feeding your entire family.
Correct.
All right. So here,
see, that's interesting because
I'm not. Nate says Baller Woods. I'm not a baller. I'm far from a baller. I'm just lazy.
We can eliminate.
How did you gain all the weight?
Think about
DoorDash.
Okay, here. Okay, so DoorDash your Jersey Mike's. I know you like it. I know you like your sandwiches. The soda bottle is insane because
it's like $12.
First of all, you're paying.
I'm a fat boy.
They're charging you $3 plus for the bottle of soda, plus the delivery charges. And the tip and everything that goes with it.
You know,
if you go and just get a 12-pack and put it in your fridge.
Here's the thing. I don't keep a lot of soda around because guess what'll happen? I'll drink it.
You need to have a little discipline then because
I don't have.
You could literally save probably at this rate, probably $300 a year simply by buying soda at Costco.
I don't want to though.
Only taking it out when you DoorDash.
Because then I'll drink it.
No, you're not allowed to drink it unless you DoorDash, and you would have ordered it from DoorDash.
Hang on. What was the total for Jersey Mike's?
It's like 19 something.
Okay. I go usually on Wednesdays. I go to Jersey Mike's because it doesn't matter. I go to Jersey Mike's. I get the sandwich, a regular sandwich, chips, and a drink. It's like $19.
Yeah.
That's a good deal on DoorDash.
Decent deal.
Well, now you have Dash Pass. You're saving a little
Saving
more.
some
That's
cash.
Smart. That's smart.
A Dash Pass.
You know the worst part?
I told you 5 years ago to
You're
get that.
also not taking advantage of the rewards programs when you're ordering with Dash Pass, because as much as you order at Jersey Mike's, every 4th or 5th trip, you should be getting a free sub that's going to be decreasing the cost of your overall ordering.
You want to know the worst part about DoorDash, though, is the thing that they always forget that I always want the most is the drink.
Yeah.
You know, and and they're pretty good about it at Jersey Mike's. They rarely mess one up, but I'd say any other restaurant I order from, if I order a drink, because look, I drink 4 gallons of water a day. It's the one thing I do right.
You do drink a lot of water.
I drink a ton of water. But when I'm having a meal, the last thing I want to drink is water. After I've been drinking, I want some juice of some sort, some soda, whatever.
Yeah.
And
last time I ordered,
90% of the time they forget my drink anyway. So then I'm sitting there with my meal and I'm like, what is this? Some crusty ass old orange juice I'm going to drink with my fish.
We'll brew some coffee.
I can't justify the full price drinks if I'm driving through.
You're also someone that will get a water cup and put Sprite in it. So
I mean, I'll get my coffee off an app for 99 cents and use the deal, which is I think a good price. That's a quality deal. But I know that if I'm paying $3.37 or whatever for a large soft drink, that actual soft drink probably costs the establishment 2 cents.
I understand that as well.
But the price is what it is.
The price is what it is.
No, it's not, because you could get it for closer to the 2 cents if you were just getting it yourself. We need to put a soda
if
fountain
he got in his car and drove to Jersey Mike's, that bottle of soda is still $2.49 or whatever.
But you don't need to get it at Jersey Mike's. You don't need to get your sodas where you get your food. That's how they get you.
Bro, here's the thing. I know I'm getting got, and I don't care. That's the problem.
If you don't care, you don't care.
Like, that's just what it is. It's like my only vice left is soda. And my trainer screams at me every day, like, bro, you got to cut the sodas out. I'm like, I will eventually at some point. But juice is what gets me. I mean, I drink grape juice right out of the bottle. I'm like a 4-year-old dude. Apple juice, grape juice.
At least you're buying that at the store.
Yeah, that at the store.
All right, that's fine.
But they always
the healthiest, but there's some nutrients in there.
They always forget my drink, and it's crushing. I'd rather you forget my food than my drink at DoorDash. If I order a drink from DoorDash, it means I really, really want one.
Elisa points out dollar large big gulps at 7-Eleven. You do the Dash Pass double, where you can order your drink from 7-Eleven.
I've doubled many times.
And get it for less without adding your fees on the same order.
You feel like you're at a massage parlor when you DoorDash double. Like you walk, it feels like you walk in like, do you do the special ones here? Or is this a real one, or can I get a special one? That's how I feel when I double dash. I'm like, you're the fattest, laziest turd.
Yeah, you know that they're judging you.
Please stop by 7-Eleven, get me some Cherry Garcia and a Sprite.
That Dasher is judging you for sure when you have ordered a drink from a separate spot.
Turd.
It was like a month or so ago. Last time we talked about DoorDash, I had the nightmare scenario where we double dash or whatever. And I don't remember what we got, but it was one of them was groceries and one of them was dinner. And instead of the same guy going to both places,
two different guys.
It was two different orders, two different guys. Even though I did the double dash, they arrived at the same time.
Hey,
or
they were doing, man.
They were at least.
You got this guy again? Unbelievable.
I'm looking at the map.
Is this guy bedridden? Just what?
I was looking at the map and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna be here at the same time. Oh my god, no. I just hid. I stayed so far out of sight.
Freaking Jeff in the chat here, Ben. Here's one for you. I have an empty soda cup in my car from In-N-Out in case I ever happen to go there. I can get my free soda and they'll never know. That's thievery.
That's thievery.
You're embezzling.
That's thievery.
Carlos. Oh, I can't repeat that on the air. This happened. This was a new one that happened to us over the weekend. Hannah ordered from a restaurant. I think I could say the restaurant. They didn't do anything wrong. Bodines. And she loves Bodines. And we hear the door chime go off. And Bo goes, I'll get the door. And
do you mean like the sourdough place?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have one. Is it just the one?
Boudin.
They have
Bodines.
You make it sound like it's somewhere from the deep south.
That's what we call Bodines.
Bodines.
Boudin, I think.
Yeah, we get the one. They have one in San Marcos, I think.
Yeah. So she orders Boudin.
It's French.
Stupid. And easy, raccoon. And so she orders it. Hear the chime. Bo goes, I'll get it, mama. She goes, thank you, baby. That's my food. And he goes, okay. So he goes to get it. He runs back in. He goes, Dad, the guy was smoking a cigarette. I go, God. What? He was smoking a cigarette. Dude came up with a lung dart in his mouth, dropped off her food, and you could smell it start wafting through the house. And I go, you're joking. He goes, no, he was smoking a cigarette as he was walking away. I go, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Loose cannabis.
So I pick up the bag. I bring it in. We open the bag. Cigarette.
No.
Like you're like, Hannah goes, what? I go, oh my God. She goes, I'm sending it back. I go, usually I'm like, no, don't send it back. She found a hair in something once. She sent it back. I was like, I found one the other night in my meal. I just ate through it.
How do you send something back when it's like DoorDash?
You don't send it back. You
just
let them know and they give you credit, and then you just had to throw the food away.
No, you don't think the Dasher put the hair in your food? It was probably
probably from the kitchen. I just ate through it. I just went through it. I just threw it out. No big deal.
Everyone has hair.
Everybody's got hair.
To me, it's not
but
the worst
dude,
thing.
When we opened that bag, it was like walking into the MGM Grand. Like you were like, what in the world? This guy driving around blasting Pall Malls, dropping off food. It was so
That's a little crazy.
It was so
don't not think.
Good
Probably
Lord.
a vast majority of your kitchen workers are taking on cigarette breaks during their shifts.
No doubt.
I mean, it's very common in the restaurant industry that they're out there smoking out back and probably have a bit of a smoke smell on their clothes at some point.
But my wife was so mad. She's, I can't eat this. No, you know what? I'm gonna give you that. That reeks. Like nobody wants to bite into their turkey sandwich and it tastes like Marlboro Red. But that was a new one for us. But yeah, the DoorDash Chronicles continue. I don't know if I could.
Bodines, like Paula Dean's husband, Bodine.
If that helps you,
I don't know. It just doesn't sound right.
That's what we call it.
Doesn't sound right to me.
So that was a new one, but yeah, DoorDash. I wonder if I could go a full week.
I will say that we all have our indulgences that we overpay for.
Yeah. What is yours?
I'll tell you when I figure it out.
You don't have any. You don't indulge much.
I go out to restaurants. I like to go out and eat at restaurants.
Right.
I know, like last night's steak dinner was
not cheap. Yeah.
not cheap.
Yeah.
And it's probably something that other people would go, I would never pay. I think it ended up being about $300 for the four of us, which isn't bad. That's because we didn't have a ton of alcohol or anything. But still, that's a big price tag for one meal for four people. But, a special occasion, and I'm willing to do that.
With your anti having food delivered. Like, is it just the price? Like, if you had if you ordered and they said free delivery this week if you have the app or something like that.
I think it's like in him.
I think so too.
Was your dad that way? Because mine was.
I don't know. There weren't really delivery apps.
Well, you had pizza and Chinese. That's all
you
you
sent me to go get it. I just
go pick it up.
So yeah, I just go pick things up.
Gonzo in the chat. She tastes like cigarettes.
Yeah, golf is not cheap. I like playing at the Goat. I'm a member, so I walk. So I pay like $35 for a round, which feels like a really good deal. I like good deals. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, I'm done with DoorDash.
All right, we need a contestant for Take on Woods. If you'd like to join us, Woods had an impressive 5-0 performance yesterday. Maybe he's ripe for the picking today, though. 833-288-0973. Chance to qualify for our trip to Las Vegas. It's our musical trivia challenge. It is coming up next. 833-288-0973. We'll get to that after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. But first...
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
It's also why I tend to be a more low-limit player when it comes to my... I do like cards. I like playing cards, but I have trouble at the higher limits. Now, if you like higher limit playing, though, 7 Mile Casino is a great place for you. You can sit down with a nice large stack, and they will take good care of you. You'll find good action at 7 Mile Casino.
Well, you can also eat at the table for a discount.
You get 35% off.
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good deal for our thrifty Ben Higgins over there. But yeah, they got everything you're looking for at 7 Mile Casino. It's a smoke-free environment, so your sandwiches will not taste like smoke, as ours did the other day. They got friendly dealers, great location. Obviously, just 7 minutes from Petco Park. Can't beat it.
Absolutely. And by the way, the patio is fantastic. And this weekend, check out the brunch because it is only available on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but it was voted best in the South County. You get a lot of brunch options on the weekends, but 7 Mile also comes with a great ambiance and the cards at 7 Mile Casino. Check it out today. 7 Mile, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I think the hidden thing that bothers me the most about the delivery apps, and that is the extra price tag on everything.
Yeah.
That, they don't call it a fee, but when you're buying a $7 sandwich and they're charging $9 for it, it's not going to the restaurant. That's just more fees that are built into the price of the food that you don't have to pay if you go get it yourself.
I remember I was very against DoorDash, like when they first started, 10 years ago or whatever it was. I was like hungover one morning on a Saturday night out with the boys the night before, and I was like, "Ooh, breakfast burrito would really hit the spot right now." And there's one right down the street from me. I was like, I don't feel like moving. It was like an $8 burrito if I went and got it myself. It was like $22 with all the fees
Worth
and
it.
the extra menu price for the item itself. And I go, fine,
It's
whatever.
absolutely worth it.
I'm not getting up.
I mean, look, so you're not a big room service guy either, are
No.
you? I bet that just murders you.
Oh yeah.
Murders you.
Oh, I have room service built into our plans.
Yeah, you got to
for
build.
Vegas
You got
next
to build
weekend.
it in. You got to build it in. You got to
Yeah.
know you're going to pay
When
for
we
it.
go to Philly, are we getting any room service?
Probably
over
not.
there?
Probably not at the
Okay.
Marriott.
That's what I was thinking.
No,
too.
I mean, there's too many good little restaurants around.
That's
there.
why I'm not into room service. I like to go and experience the surroundings of the city that I'm in.
Yeah,
You could just DoorDash one of those
Ooh, we
restaurants
could.
to your hotel room.
Now that I have done.
Oh, yeah.
I've DoorDashed to the hotel many a time.
All right, I'll meet you in the lobby.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how we do today. It's time for today's edition of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. Who do we got today? Oh, I'm going to go.
Dealer's choice. Let's just pick
All
somebody.
right, surprise me with line 3.
Who
Who's
is
this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. Brandy.
Brandy, are you calling for Take on Woods?
Hi.
Hi.
I am calling for Take on Woods. I didn't even know if we were ready. Here we go.
We are ready. You're on the
I'm
air.
Ben. This is Paul. Woods has left the studio, and
Wonderful.
you are the contestant today, Brandy. All right. Hopefully, you're a fine
Let's
contestant in our 5-question musical trivia challenge.
See what you did there.
If you can beat our reigning champion
Looking
Woods,
Glass. I love it.
even tie him, you'll qualify for our grand prize drawing, a trip to see Bruno Mars in Las Vegas, 2 tickets to a show at Dolby Live at the Park MGM on September 3rd, a 2-night stay at the Park MGM, and a $100 gift card. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. To give you the advantage, I will let you pick our category. Here are your 3 choices. Luck O' the Irish. 5 song titles or artists that have an O apostrophe in the answer. When is Now. That's all 2-second songs with the word when. And All in the Family. That's 5 song titles and artists, including the word family. So Luck O' the Irish, When is Now, or All in the Family. Brandy?
Oh, boy. Let's try the last one.
All
Family.
in the Family. All right, today on Take on
Oh,
Woods,
boy.
we are looking for song titles and musical artists. Start racking your brain, then include the word family. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you don't know one, don't worry about it. Say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the end of the clock. First question, though, is our 2-second song. Paulie's going to play some music. You know it. Give me the artist and the title right away. If not, you can say pass, but you need both to score that point. Brandy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do
it.
this. Good luck. 60 seconds on the clock. Again, the category is All in the Family. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Brandy. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, that is Mary J. Blige.
It is.
Pass.
All right. Formed in the 1960s in San Francisco, which funky band is known for hits including Everyday People and Dance to the Music?
Sly and the Family Stone?
Correct. The 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates used which hit by Sister Sledge as their theme on their way to a World Series title?
Oh, pass. Let's go back
Which
to that.
fictional sitcom music group featuring David Cassidy became popular enough in real life to generate hits including I Think I Love You, which went to #1 on the charts?
Partridge Family.
Correct. Last year, Drake released which diss track aimed at Kendrick Lamar that shares a name with a sitcom that gave birth to the character of Steve Urkel?
Family Matters?
Correct. Go back to our Mary J. Blige song.
I have no idea.
All right,
Darn
1979 Pittsburgh Pirates used which hit by Sister Sledge? Oh, not bad, Brandy,
Pretty
for a
good.
first effort. A score of 3 on a tough category. You got Sly and the Family Stone, The Partridge Family, and Family Matters. That was Family Affair by Mary J. Blige. And We Are Family, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 1979. Let's bring Woods back in. Hang on the line, Brandy. See if that is good enough to hold up your score today. Woods does not get the category. Adds to his degree of difficulty. All right, let's reset everything. Put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Brandy.
Oh, that's familiar. Pass.
Formed in the 1960s in San Francisco, which funky band is known for hits including Everyday People and Dance to the Music?
Sly and the Family Stone.
Correct. The 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates used which hit by Sister Sledge as their theme?
We Are Family.
Correct. Which fictional sitcom music group featuring David Cassidy became popular enough in real life?
Partridge Family?
Correct. Last year, Drake released which diss track aimed at Kendrick Lamar that shares a name with a sitcom that gave birth to the character of Steve Urkel?
Family Matters?
Correct. Back to our 2-second song.
That's, is that Alicia Keys?
It is not.
F.
And Woods wins it 4-3. I wanted Brandy to get in there. Brandy, well played game today. Please call again, try again. You were a solid contestant.
Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife.
I made that joke already.
You would be. You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
no.
The second she said her name.
Oh, no.
Said I was hoping you're a fine contestant. All in the Family was the
What's
category.
that song?
Family Affair by Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Goat.
Very good, though.
She's
Very good game
awesome.
today. That was solid.
That was a solid game.
All
Well
right.
done, Brandy.
All right, you know what? We're going to do our round of report a little early today because we got Doug Glanville coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. So, Paulie, I assume we'll maybe talk a little NBA playoffs, start of the conference finals and more.
Yeah, maybe. And I want to talk about a absolutely genius marketing strategy by one of my favorite bands.
Good deal.
That's coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, if you're maxed out on your credit card, struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Told you about it before. You can get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. Most importantly, the Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One client just got $300,000 approved. Only took them 24 hours. Paid off their debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Pretty big turnaround for them. With Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Your home's equity is yours. Use it. Get cash out to consolidate your debt, your bills down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto today to get a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get out. They are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews, and their service is off the charts. They will walk you through it, guys. Call now. Start the conversation, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com, 619-207-4336, or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
This hour, Bennett Woods is brought to you by U.S. Wellness Meats. Top 10 must-haves for grilling season. 1, meat. 2, meat. 3, meat. Lots of meat.
Lots of meat.
I don't know what the rest of the top 10 is, but you
Probably
get the picture.
meat.
Grill the best-tasting meats on the planet from USWellnessMeats.com. New customers receive 20% off and will deliver right to your door for free.
Deliver to your door for free.
Meat.
You should go pick up your meat.
I would. Don't know where to go get it, but otherwise I would go pick up. I mean,
Can't beat your
lots of meat. Doug Glanville is going to join us on a Big League Wednesday coming up in our 9 o'clock
Do you
hour.
like meat, Doug?
I had a lot of meat last night.
You did.
We will also be giving away another pair of tickets to the Padres Marlins game next Tuesday, Military Hoodie Night. So stay tuned for that. But with everything pushed into the last hour, we're pulling into the third hour our Rundle Report. We'll do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Still a few problems out here, guys. Spring Street on-ramp to westbound 8, accident involving a car and a motorcycle. It's over the right shoulder. Westbound 52 still has this accident just past the 125 car and big rig over the right shoulder, but they did clear that other crash right before Mast Boulevard. Heading north on the 15 near Arrow Drive, 2-vehicle accident over the right shoulder. And now South 5 Coastline jumping into the act right before Delmar Heights Road. Vehicle struck a center divide. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and you're road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Here with our today's edition of the Rundle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
Weird doing it an hour early.
It is.
A little jarring, but here we go. Want to start off in Major League Baseball. I was perusing ESPN earlier today, and Kylie McDaniel, he handles all of their prospects and minor league stuff for ESPN. I think there's a handful of guys when you think prospects, news and rankings and all that. Keith Law, other guys like that. I think Kylie McDaniels is in that top tier. I think he's pretty good and measured in his analysis.
Do we rip on the Kylie McDaniels of the world like we do the Mel Kipers of the world? And should we?
I don't think
I
we
feel
do.
like baseball.
These are post-draft guys. These aren't pre-draft like Mel Kiper does.
True.
He's speculating on guys who haven't done it at all at the professional level. These guys are at least pros. They're minor league pros.
You get 17, 18-year-olds.
They are
Baseball and
professionals.
football just organizationally are so different. Like you draft a guy in football, you expect him to be an impact player
Because
immediately.
I feel like we not rip, but we are marvel at the Daniel Jeremiahs that spend hours watching film on offensive tackles, and they make their predictions on who's going to go where and if they're going to contribute.
Well, the numbers in football mean a lot less than the numbers in baseball. Yeah, you can throw for a certain number of yards and touchdowns and catches, and that's great. But when it comes to an offensive lineman, stats are fairly meaningless.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to keep your quarterback could get sacked 0 times, and that's
pretty good.
But they could also get sacked 20 times, and if it was the guy next to you who was letting that guy by, wasn't your fault. You could still be a phenomenal offensive lineman who didn't let your guy sack anybody. It's
not trying to wreck the Ryan report. Just an interesting thought that I had. Like, okay, we're going to take these guys at their word more so than we do sometimes with the football prognosis.
They're certainly not 100% right, just like Mel Kiper is nowhere near 100% right.
Proceed with caution, I suppose.
Yeah.
But ESPN and Kylie McDaniel, they have put out today their updated 2025 top 50 MLB prospects list. We start at the top. You have Roman Anthony, he's an outfielder for the Red Sox. Which, I was looking at the whole list. The Red Sox have like 9 guys on there. Like that team should be. If all these guys, if some of these guys pan out, because not all of them will, Red Sox could be stacked in a couple of years.
Well, we said that about the Orioles.
Yeah.
Look at them now.
Jury's still out.
Yeah, jury's out, I guess.
Bubba Chandler is number 2, right-handed pitcher for the Pirates.
Stud.
Not a right-handed pitching dominant prospect for the Pirates, huh?
And then your next 3 are all very young shortstops. And at number 3 is San Diego Padres' own Leo Dallas DeVries.
I like it.
Number 3.
Kylie McDaniel says DeVries gets the edge among a group of 3 high-upside teenage shortstops appearing in a row. He has the best on-base and pull/lift skills of the 3, while also being a switch hitter who is at least as good defensively at shortstop as the other 2.
Is Marcelo Mayer on there?
He is number 6.
Really? He's ranked ahead of Marcelo, it feels like he's about to crack into the big leagues.
It's a ton of shortstops here. So DeVries, 3, Sebastian Walcott, number 4, Jesus Made, number 5 shortstop, number 6 a shortstop, that's Marcelo, number 7 a shortstop, and then a couple of outfielders.
Why do you think it's Jesus Made and not Jesus Made?
Jesus Made,
because that's
I guess it could be Jesus Made.
Jesus Made.
I don't know. I have not. I don't know much about him other than he's a shortstop for the Brewers.
Jesus Made.
Jesus Made.
Just like me.
But Kylie says DeVries has the tools to be above average at everything with potential for 25 to 30 home runs.
Excellent.
I would
sign up for that. The good news about prospect, we've never been burned on Padres prospect. So that's the good news. This fully should
Ethan Salas
come to fruition.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while because either AJ Preller has traded away the prospects for something useful, or he kept Jackson Merrill for something useful. The biggest phrase that you mentioned there, though, with Leo is lift skills, which is something that we are seeing sorely lacking right now on the big league team. Lifting the ball into the air.
And then Ethan Salas was number 25 on this list.
Okay.
And that
He's
is
got
the
a
only
broken
two.
back right now, but
spinal.
That's the only two.
I broke my back.
The list for
what
the
happened,
Padres.
Marcelo?
Spinal.
Oh, okay. Well, hope you recover.
Not Marcelo.
Not
Ethan.
Marcelo. Ethan. Yeah.
All right. In the NBA conference finals action began last night. We started in the Western Conference with OKC hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's Oklahoma City for the layman.
Yes, Oklahoma City, the Thunder, and the Thunder rolled.
And the Thunder rolled
in game one.
And the lightning strikes.
114-88. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander probably going to be the MVP announced, I believe,
they are going to announce
today?
it today. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they were going to announce it like 3 weeks ago, but they have waited until today.
Yeah, he had 31 points. Julius Randle dropped 28 for the Timberwolves. I saw Anthony Edwards rolled an ankle early in the game, but he did still play like 37 minutes. The only takeaway from that one was a lot of people were upset at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ability to get to the free throw line and flopping, trying to just not even like put up a shot, just draw the foul. Anthony Edwards at one point, SGA like fell onto the baseline where the camera crews are, and Ant just kind of tossed the ball.
Threw the ball at his knees.
Like, are you again?
One
One
critique I see a lot of the Thunder is that they're a very hard team to officiate because defensively they are very aggressive. Like you could call a lot of fouls on the Thunder, but the officials tend to at some point just stop blowing the whistle, and then the Thunder get away with a bunch of stuff, and that's how they that's just their style of play. You know, they're just an aggressive physical team. And if you call a bunch of fouls, they could all be in foul trouble, but it just doesn't happen a lot. So it does have an impact on the games in terms of the officiating.
Yeah. So OKC jumps out to a 1-0 lead in the Western Conference tonight at 5:00 on TNT and Max. You have game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks, they will be hosting the Indiana Pacers at the Garden. It should be a good one.
Knicks Thunder would be a good NBA Finals.
Yeah, I agree. I'm rooting for Knicks Wolves, but Knicks Thunder would be, basketball wise, would be a good matchup.
Yeah.
And then finally, I want to talk about, I saw this band that I have always been a fan of, grew up listening to All American Rejects, kind of that pop punk, mid-2000s
What's their most famous
stuff.
song?
Swing is a big one. They had a handful of songs, but they, that was 20 years ago. They've kind of dropped off, and the marketing strategy that they're doing right now is definitely dipping into the nostalgia and trying to, drum up some interest with people my age that are now, 34, 35 years old.
Huge, dude.
They're going on a house party tour where you can literally sign up for the All American Rejects to show up to your house in your backyard. Or I saw they did a show at a bowling alley. They did a show at somebody's graduation party. They bring their equipment. I don't believe that they are getting like noise ordinances and stuff, like the permits, but they are just showing up, and people are saying, come to Wisconsin, come to Nevada.
For this,
how are they making
just
money on this?
So that I don't know how much money they're making.
So
I
how
really
brilliant
don't know.
of marketing is it?
Well, they're trending. I mean,
True.
they're in the news in 2025, which they weren't. You can literally like go online to their Instagram account, and it says house party shows RSVP. Say Green Bay, Chicago, Minneapolis are done. Where should we hit next? You sign up, and they may select you and show up and play like a house party show. And everyone that grew up listening to them is like, this is awesome.
Yeah, of course.
It looks like what's the movie where they play in the backyard?
The Dirt.
No, is on the roof.
Almost Famous?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Can we sign Ben up?
I will say
Just
that
Ben's backyard.
Ben's backyard?
kind of genius, because they've turned something that is usually the sign of like death for a band. Hey, they used to play packed stadiums.
Right.
And now they're reduced to playing bowling alleys and backyards. And they've turned something that is normally the sign that you have hit the hardest of hard times into something that now sounds kind of appealing
and positive.
cool and trendy. So that's a nice way of flipping the script. You're not going to fill, SoFi Stadium for the All-American Rejects at this point.
I don't think they ever were going to fill SoFi. That being said, it is cool.
I mean, it's the videos that have gone around, and we're showing them some. They're muted on our YouTube stream. I mean, these people are losing
Columbia,
their minds.
Missouri, and he's got graduation gear on and they're playing. That's badass.
I mean, these people are going nuts. They're like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. I Googled the All American Rejects House Party Tour cost, and the quick AI response was that the cost varies. Some shows were free, others were offered for $5. And it's just a range of prices. So I don't know exactly how that works
You get sponsors to pay, like Adam says.
Yeah.
Ben and Woods House Party Tour. Well, we'll go and do our show from your backyard.
Yeah,
Has it been?
yeah. The first show I was on, the Mikey Show, used to do it in Dallas, here in Dallas. They used to do it, and they would go, like, you could sign up, and they'd go do the show live from your house. And you run into some weird stuff from time to time. I would actually do that idea. That'd be fun.
Maybe during our summer break.
Oh,
we have talked about taking the show on the road for summer break.
Summer break at someone's house. It's got to be a nice house with a pool.
It wouldn't be a summer break.
Preferably North County, somewhere close to the house. I would like those Sunny D drinks that we had, the seltzers that were delicious. All right. I can't wait for summer break.
And then,
let's do this. Let's do this idea.
And then real quick, I guess just breaking news while we're kind of doing the gauntlet of sports stuff here. The tush push in the NFL, we have breaking news, will remain alive. NFL owners were voting to ban the tush push.
Wow.
And
it's
it did
still
not,
alive.
It was a vote of 22-10. You needed 24 owners' approval.
To ban it.
Just missed it to ban it. Yeah.
I know the Jeffrey
staying
Lurie, the
alive.
owner of the Eagles, made a last-minute plea to save it. And he called him out on something that was correct. He said, you're not doing this because of safety. This is not an unsafe play. This is a rugby scrum. It's a very, very safe play.
You just can't beat it.
You're doing it because you can't stop it. And he must have convinced a couple of people because the reports were this morning that they were going to ban it.
Tush push still banned in the Woods household, by the way. Always
sorry
will
about
be. Sorry about it.
Didn't get the vote?
No,
your
no
way?
votes. Zero. I one vote.
But you needed to.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, final hour. We've got Padres tickets to give away. Doug Glanville going to join us as well on The Fan. We've had trouble finding things to say about last night's game, I've noticed today, more than usual.
Yeah, they stunk. I've said it. I told you when we kicked off the show, that's your analysis. They stink right now. Their offense is stinky.
Manny's analysis of the game, we're just not hitting.
Correct. He's spot on.
He's absolutely entirely correct.
Spot on.
In fact, I don't know that there's any other problems with the San Diego Padres. I don't think there's a culture problem.
No.
I don't think there's an effort problem.
No.
I don't think there's necessarily a strategic problem. It's just we're just not hitting.
Correct.
It's that simple.
Yes, that simple.
Unfortunately, that is the hardest problem to fix in baseball.
It really is. To get everybody going, in the same direction. But, you'd love to see – you got to get somebody early tonight. You got to get to Kevin Gossman early if you can. And he's a tough customer. He's 3-4 this year with a 4.59 ERA. Benny was whips freely. He doesn't walk anybody. He's going to be around the zone. Some of these balls got to get through. Some of the breaks that we were getting earlier in the season, we are definitely not getting right now. And when it's bad, when it rains, it pours. And it's currently pouring right now for the San Diego Padres offensively. You'd hope to be able to get some early runs just to kind of get that monkey off your back like we talked about earlier. He's a guy that's going to be around the zone. Mixes it up. I think he's got like a 5-pitch mix. I mean, it's no easy sledding for them tonight.
What's
either.
But I saw the stat last night on the broadcast that no one has more strikeouts since 2021 on a certain pitch than Dylan Cease's slider.
Oh, really?
It has gotten more strikeouts on a specific pitch by a specific pitcher. But I believe second on that list was Gossman, and his splitter, I think it was.
Nasty.
Is nasty. That's tough for a team that's trying to lift the ball.
Oh, it's really going to be fun watching them beat it into the ground. Not at 115 miles an hour, at 79 miles an hour.
A team that is not lifting the ball enough to go against a splitter pitcher.
A dream for him.
That throws a lot of strikes is not necessarily a great combination for the Padres.
Yeah, just, again, slumping right now. Slumping.
I mean, it's not like they weren't going to go all year without a 4-game losing streak.
For sure.
And
for sure.
I guess better now than September, which nobody wants to hear, but I don't know.
We saw it in October, and that didn't, again, the panic of that has jarred us all. I mean, you think back to the 24 scoreless, and you're like, this team's capable of that, because they've shown that before, and everyone was healthy, everyone was doing their thing, and it just stopped, and baseball happens that way.
And, went through it earlier and talked about, some of the exit velocities and the expected batting average. I mean, Padres had balls that could have been hits, line outs at a 790 expected batting average, hard grounders at a 580, just ended up going to the wrong places. Now, early in the season, it does feel like those balls were hits, and when you get 2 of those in a row, and now you've got runners on and you can pressure the opposing pitcher. You got them working out of the stretch. You've got them worried about stolen bases. It's an entirely different game. I mean, that's really all the Padres need. A couple of those balls find holes, and you get that pitcher now worrying about, okay, now I got a tough part of the lineup to go through. They've got guys on base. It changes everything. But when the Padres just hit the ball and hit a hard grounder to shortstop and then a liner to the right fielder, and it's 2 outs and nobody on, couldn't be any easier for an opposing pitcher now, because you're not worried about the home run necessarily with the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, just gotta. Again, I'm such a proponent of maybe trying something a little bit different tonight, just because you've run basically the same lineup out there, every day, and you don't have to be crazy, you don't have to do anything goofy, but mixing and matching, maybe get some guys some better opportunities to see better pitches, whatever it may be. Play to your strengths instead of the pitcher's strengths a little bit. Running the same guys out there, in the same order. I'm down to mix it up, and I get the sense that Mike Schilt isn't, and that's okay. He's the manager. I'm not, certainly.
Well, I think he's also looking at the guys he has and is not seeing anyone who's making a great case to get more opportunities. The starters are struggling, but so is the bench. I mean, none of those guys are, Brandon Lockridge, Tyler Wade, they haven't done anything lately either. I mean, it's not as though you're keeping your productive guys on the bench in order to give these veterans more starts. No one is producing. Iglesias isn't producing. No one's producing.
Try Arise at the top tonight. Try Jackson Merrill in the 2 behind Tatis. Try something. Try anything just to get a spark. I mean, you hear all the time. Needed a spark.
You could say Machado and Merrill are both struggling.
Lead Jackson off.
You say split them up.
Split them up.
But then you're putting 2 struggling players maybe in between your more productive guys. That's generally the worst thing when you're trying to string together hits. I don't know that there's any logical answer in terms of a lineup that a change that would make a lot of sense right now. It's change for change sake is what you're asking for.
Well, it's change. It's not change for change. It's not change because we need to we need to. I don't agree with you that it's change for change.
Well, then give me the reason why you're changing it.
Because it's not working.
That's
in its current
change
iteration.
for change sake.
No, it's not working. If it's not working, then change it.
What do you think change for change's sake means?
You're not doing it as a goof. You're just moving.
That's not what change for change is for change sake is. Hey, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just need to make a change.
The reason I'm doing it is to, let's say Jackson goes to the 2 instead of the 4 with somebody else hitting behind him. Maybe he gets different pitches. Maybe Jackson at the top get better pitches to hit. Maybe Luis at the top because he's okay, and that worked for you last year. There's a track record there. It's not changed because I feel like rolling the dice and having some fun and mixing up my lineup.
So, let's follow that up. Yep. Jackson, get him some better pitches to hit. All right, right now
he's not hitting.
Right now, Jackson is chasing more pitches out of the zone. The guy behind him is generally Xander Bogaerts. Mm-hmm. Hasn't been the best Padres hitter,
but he's
hotter
lately
than some other guys on the team. Actually, he's one of the hotter hitters right now. So you've got Jackson being protected by a guy who's actually hitting line drives, hit a couple of them yesterday, has hit for an higher average than almost everybody on the team over the last couple of weeks. So he is being protected. I mean, who's better? Who's going to be better protection right now for Jackson?
Luis Ariz, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, again, switch it up. Just it's yes, I guess by definition it's change for change's sake. But when what you're doing isn't working, switch it up a little bit. I'm not saying, and it's nothing drastic. I'm not saying
I guess it's if not now, when?
Right.
You don't have to go crazy after a loss or 2 losses.
Dominic's right. Change for change sake is switching it up when everything is fine because you feel like you have to do something. It's getting cute.
Well, we know Mike Schultz not going to do that.
No, he's not going to do that.
But I think he's going to want to be able to justify and have a reason for.
Do you know what my reason and my justification is? We've scored 3 runs in 4 games. That's my justification. That's my reason. Well, I just wanted a little spark.
That's throwing S at the wall and hoping something will stick.
Welcome to baseball. I mean, a lot of times. I mean,
that would be your reason. Like, I know this isn't working. I don't know why my change would work any better, but hey, at least it's different.
Well, how about the record last year with Luis Ariz at the top? There it is. You've got empirical evidence. Like we won more games. We played better. I like Fernando at the top personally. I do. But right now they're just a little bit stale. So yeah, I mean it's slumps are going to happen. It sucks when Manny and Jackson are slumping. Tatis is trying to do so much.
I think that's a defensible move. Move Luis Ariz back to the top of the lineup. At the very least, he seemed like he was fouling off a bunch of pitches yesterday.
Probably shouldn't have.
But at
the very least, he's going to get 9 pitch ABs.
At least everyone's going to see the starting pitcher if he does that, to lead off the game. And, he may end up with a hit at the end of the at-bat. So you got some. Now, we went through this many times. Why? All right, then he gets his single because I know he's had a double in the first inning.
What he's going to do.
He gets his single. All right, now you've got one of your slower runners in front of all your faster people that are coming up.
But if my best power hitter is Fernando Tatis Jr. and he's in the 2, he could go bridge
a 2-run homer.
2-0.
He could. I mean, there's definitely an argument for it, and there's an argument against it. And the Goose says, honestly, why not? And that's I'm not saying that's not a bad explanation. Hey, it's what we're doing isn't working. I may not know why this new thing is going to work, but hey, it's different, and maybe it will. And no one can, even if you can't explain why it's working, you'll take it if it works.
Oh, 100%. And then you look like a genius. At that point.
If you can't explain why it's working, are you really a genius, or you just lucked into something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of luck involved in it, certainly. But yeah, you gotta figure out a way to get to Gossman tonight early. And again, Randy Vasquez, how much pressure is he feeling right now? He's like, he saw what's been happening, and he's like, the lack of being able to go out and just be as free and easy as you could possibly be starting a game, at the big league level. It goes away a little bit.
When did Cease give up the 2-run homer? 6th inning, 7th inning?
Yeah.
So, I mean, up until that point, he had made one mistake. You should be able to afford one solo home run
every time.
And he's got to pitch his ass off to keep this team in the game.
And when it goes 3-0,
it was over. It was over at that point. But like up until that point, you're still like, dude, can you get some help?
Yeah.
And if you're like Randy Vasquez, you're like, well, I saw what happened last night. I better not let anybody get on.
The only time Schilt ever tinkers with the lineup is when guys are hurt. When Merrill was out, he had Gavin Sheets in the 2, and he tried different things. And nobody's hurt, but it's not being productive. It's not a productive offense right now. So that would be my reasoning for it. Also, I'm tired of seeing the same thing night after night, at least for the last week or so.
I get though when you have like your 3-hitter and your 6-hitter and your 9-hitter are all producing, very logical. All right, let's put those 3 together. They're all hot.
Right.
Let's get them all in order. The Padres don't have that option right now. They don't have 3 hot hitters to put together in the order. Their couple of hottest hitters are already hitting 1-2. So in a sense, anything you're doing may be making it worse rather than better. I guess that would
be
about
the old
concern.
Schilty table flip today.
Again, so a table flip, strategy that managers have employed is to wake up a team that's in some sort of funk.
They're like an offensive funk, maybe?
Well,
like a team that got shut out last night?
I usually would say like a mental funk. Their heads are not in the game.
Right.
They're not paying attention. They've made a bunch of mental errors on the base paths. They're playing bad defense.
It's like a Ron Washington move.
It's not something I've necessarily seen from the Padres.
Right.
I see them going up, hitting the ball hard right at people. I don't know how a table flip is going to change anything about that. You want them to stop hitting it hard? You just want them to stop hitting it right at people.
I just want them to win a game.
I just want them to compete in a game.
Correct. I want to feel like I'm in a game.
You know what? If they lose 8-6,
win or lose, hold my attention. How about that? Is that too much to ask? Can you hold my attention?
If I'm the speak, because the table flip has to come with some sort of speech as well, right?
I would love to see you table flip.
You can't just flip the table and walk out the room, right? You have to give some sort of
get your head out of the ashes.
You have to yell at Jeremy Giambi about what he's doing wrong when you do flip the table.
You know how hard it would be for me as the skipper to not I do it to my little leaguers. Imagine, I don't scream at them, but you know what I'm saying? Like it would to be like, how much money you make? Wham! You know what I mean? Like, get out there and earn your money.
Divine Sports Gospels. They're not really hitting the ball hard. No, they are. They had 9 of the 13 hardest hit balls last night. They're not hitting the ball in the air.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. So Mike Schilt flips the table and goes, hit the ball in the air.
Yes.
I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know how that works.
I like it a lot.
You don't think these guys know that, need to do more of that?
So what is your solution? We just sit on our hands and wait and hope. It's hope. That's really the only thing you can do is hope they get out of it.
It's not hope. It's
trust.
It's trust. Yeah, there you go. Trust.
Trust and will.
That a little patience and knowing that all of these guys, at least most of these guys, have very solid track records of hitting for large chunks of the season and not hitting for chunks of the season as well, that they will all find their way out of it, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And I trust that they will.
.com. I don't know, man. It's they're 9th in exit velocity, Jordan just said. That's pretty good.
It's great.
Top third in baseball. So they're hitting the ball hard.
They hit the ball hard.
On the ground
don't
a
hit
lot.
The ball in the air enough.
It's like a team full of Eric Hosmers again. This is great. Just what you dreamed up.
I mean, if I'm Victor Rodriguez, I'm going, everybody swing about 1/3 of an inch lower than you were. I wish it was that easy.
It's not.
There's no hitting coach in America who would just go, we're great. We're doing everything right, except we need to swing 1/3 of an inch
All right,
lower.
so if they come out again tonight and they score a run with the same lineup, are you still in? How long are you going to keep rolling out the same order every night?
I think the the move you make first is you probably have to go and find someone else to play left field.
Well, we've known that. We're going to talk to AJ Preller Friday.
Before you change the lineup, you need to change some personnel at the bottom of your order.
Sure.
And
Manny's at the top for
we are expecting to have AJ Preller join us on Friday for our Friar Friday this week. I want you to ask him about Jake Cronenworth possibly.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's that would be something you could do. That would be dramatic. Get both Jake and Jose Iglesias in the lineup on a regular basis. I don't know that changes the offense
so
entirely.
Again, we could do this all day, man. It's like the chicken and the egg. Michael said something in the chat. He just deleted it, but I saw it. He's like, it's because of what Victor Rodriguez has instilled in them. The approach that Victor has instilled into them. Well, that approach won you a lot of baseball games. It won you a lot of baseball games last year. It won you a lot of baseball games at the start of this year.
And earned you a lot of praise from, I don't know, all of us.
And I think all the fans. I just don't it's on these guys to make the necessary adjustments. It's not Victor Rodriguez's fault. It's not. I don't blame him even a little bit. He helped us win a lot of games last year, getting guys to buy in and, play really well. They scored a lot of runs.
Is it possible that this philosophy, the best case scenario is you're going to have good stretches,
really
you win 90-plus games, but you're also going to have these times when the balls aren't finding holes, and you're going to look really ugly for a week. Can you live with that?
Yeah, that's it.
Can we live with
Can you live with that?
And that is part of this philosophy, and it's an inevitable part of the philosophy that there will be streaks where the ball's not falling and your offense looks dismal for days at a time, because that may be unavoidable with this particular hitting strategy from the San Diego Padres.
I agree.
All right, we will take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to give away some Padres tickets. Maybe by Tuesday, things will look completely different for your San Diego Padres. Certainly, you can hope so. That is coming up. And then Doug Glanville, very smart baseball. Not, maybe, but very smart baseball. As a former player on a Big League Wednesday, he went to an Ivy League school.
He did, Ivy Leaguer.
Guy is a sharp baseball guy. He's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. That's all coming up after a check of traffic with Ben Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Smart guys that I would worry about sitting down at a Texas Hold'em table against, because they know the odds.
I feel like you are that way too.
I do.
More than me.
I know the odds fairly well on those games.
But you don't want to play against a guy like me, because I go all in all the time.
I mean, you've got the nerve.
That's
I've
right.
got the odds. Together we'd be great. Probably be a pretty good team.
You put the Padres pitching with the Dodgers offense, we got a really good squad.
It's not a two-man sport, though,
That's
Texas
right.
Hold'em. It's kind of a solo sort of deal. And if that's your kind of deal, we invite you to head down to Chula Vista and our place to play cards, 7 Mile Casino. Whether it's Texas Hold'em, California-style blackjack, Pai Gow, or Baccarat, you're not going to find a more welcoming environment, smoke-free, slot machine-free, really easy to park, get into. So many things to like about 7 Mile Casino.
No question about it. Smoke-free environment, slot machine-free environment as well. Great place to go hang out, have lunch with your coworkers, play some cards while you're there. Sit out on the bay, have a beer, or out on the patio that overlooks the bay, have a beer. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. So check it out for yourself. 7 Mile Casino is just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Sarah and Benowitz, brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends June 14th. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Have we thought about sacrificing anything? I mean, somebody said last night, man, we need the rally roach back. I said, I first time in my life I've ever wanted to see a cockroach in my place of business. Remember how the streak that they went on when that roach appeared? It was crazy.
Jesse and Mudd attempted to do a rally hot dog consumption.
Oh, I missed
it. It was Looney Dog Night last night. Looney's being a Canadian dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, I don't know, like 80 cents for a hot dog.
It's like your dream.
Pretty good price, yeah.
How many could you get down? 2?
No fees. I could probably get to 3 if I pushed it.
3
had
glizzies?
9.
No, he did not.
Well, he had 9 in the booth with him.
Oh,
and I think the intention was eat one to start the rally, and then as the Padres keep scoring runs, Mudd was going to keep eating hot dogs throughout the inning. Of course, they didn't score any runs. The rally dog failed.
Easiest bet ever for Mudd. That's a risk that you run with this offense right now.
And I guess my hesitancy is that when a rally totem is effective, it's a very fun strategy. The rally roach, when the Padres were winning, was
great.
good. When you try to force it into existence, though, when the team is struggling,
It's true.
It's kind of sad.
It's got to be
and-
organic. I mean, there was a time last year that I carried in my wallet a rubber roach. I had it in my wallet with me at all times. And Paulie's got the graphic.
You could tell Jesse so wanted this to happen. He wanted them to start scoring.
The hot dog.
And Mud had to just keep eating dogs until like the rally ended. And I think Jesse's real hope was that Mud like literally exploded
and
in the booth
vomited.
during the inning as the Padres like put 12 runs on the board.
Oh my God, I forgot about it. In my mind, that roach was the size of a rat. When I remember it from the first day, we screamed when that roach popped up in here.
My son said they have dollar hot dogs at games, and I go, "Oh yeah, that's a fairly common promotion." He said they don't do that in the United. That's just Canada, right? I said no, other teams do it. And he looked it up. He said like the Astros do it every week, and he says, "Why don't the Padres do it?" And I go,
"They don't have to.
They don't have to."
Yeah, why doesn't Notre Dame join the conference, man?
They're trying to get people into the door. They had a good crowd last night at Rogers Center because because the Padres were in town, but mostly because of the loony dogs.
Hey, whatever works, man. However you get asses in the seat.
Right.
Like, if I don't care if you hate this show, as long as you listen.
Right.
I don't care if you hate me personally. As long as you listen, I don't care. Get your ass in the door, get you in the seat. I'll give you $1 hot dog for your troubles and call it a day. But
it's a fairly easy promotion for a team. The hot dog, they're not making any money, but I don't think they're losing a ton of money. A bun and a dog.
Well, because what happens? You get a drink,
is,
you
get more tickets sold,
candy,
more other things sold.
Merch.
You get them in the door for whatever reason.
Gus Nash says they don't have Megadoomer says they don't have foot long hot dogs in Canada, and then Gus says they're a meter long.
That would be a long
a
dog.
meter. How long is a meter?
That would be almost like a yard.
A yard,
very similar to a yard.
That's it.
That would be a very long hot dog.
Brilliant. What's the 999 challenge again? It's
9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings.
No chance.
No, I don't think so.
0 chance.
You could do 2, you think?
I could do the.
It's the speed that would.
The beer
really
would be the harder part for me.
I could do the 2-2-2 challenge, which is not that much of a
2
challenge.
beers, 2 hot dogs, and 2
Correct.
innings.
That I could get down, no problem. 3-3-3 would be very tough.
And then you need a nap.
9 beers.
9 beers would
in 3 hours. Call it,
dude. Your boy would. I would wet my pants.
Not good.
I would 9 beers. I would wet my pants.
You'd just be like watching the game on one of the monitors from the concourse near the bathroom.
You know the GIF of the guy sitting in his seat vomiting on himself. That would be me. It's the worst GIF around, but it works.
All right, we got Doug Glanville coming up, but before we go, we got to give away some Padres tickets. So if you'd like to attend Tuesday's game, May 27th against the Miami Marlins, hoodies are back. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive free Padres military hoodies for the first time ever. The hoodie featuring a print similar to the Salute to Service Sunday jerseys. You can get your tickets at padres.com/tickets. And I would tell you to call in at 833-288-0973. You guys are fast, though, because the phone lines are already jammed. Fifth caller is going to win 833-288-0973. We'll come back with ESPN baseball analyst Doug Glanville to wrap up the program next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, it's Woodsy for Eco Water. Very happy that Odyssey San Diego now is serving Eco Water proudly to all of to everyone here. That's what our new machine is. We got the Eco Water unit in our home. Best water I've ever tasted. Best water I've ever had. It is no joke. The reverse osmosis system. You get bottled quality water straight from your tap. Want an upgrade? Their alkaline filters take hydration to the next level. We've got the Eco Water unit. As I said, soft, purified water. Total game changer. We love it. Super happy with the entire experience with Eco Water. Clean water deserves clean air. Eco Water SoCal also has state-of-the-art air purification. Removes 99.99% of pollutants. We got pure water, fresh air, and a happy family. Thanks to Eco Water SoCal. Get a free in-home water test today. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water now for just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338 or go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Congratulations to Alex. Just won the tickets to next Tuesday's Padres Marlins game. And I want to get right into our Big League Wednesday, a little later than usual, but worth the wait today, because it is my pleasure to welcome back to Ben & Woods one of our favorites, ESPN baseball analyst. He's got a new Substack. I love it. It's called Welcome to Glanville. Get it? Welcome to Glanville.
Yes, I do get it.
Because his name
Do you understand what he means by Glanville?
His name is Doug Glanville. It's very clever, and we welcome Doug back to the program here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Doug.
Hey, good morning. Great to be on.
I was reading through some of the Substack posts that you had, and this one, I don't know why, this one fascinated me. So Doug says he had never in his career registered under an alias name when he was traveling.
Ooh, that's
on
fascinating.
The road. But a lot of players do because, well, they don't want to be necessarily bothered in their hotel room. It's not that hard to figure out what hotels visiting teams are staying at. What was your experience there, Doug? And did you ever think about it? And why did other players do it? And how often was it an inconvenience when you stayed under your own name?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, I just committed to it at some point, right? I said, my era coming up as a rookie, you were kind of be seen but not heard. And I felt like taking the step of being like, now I need an alias because I'm so famous that I felt like the veterans are going to like look at me sideways. I came up with the Cubs, and that was an old school team. A lot of veterans, Sandberg, Grace, Sean Dunston, so sometimes that culture of coming up with an older team, you feel like you kind of take a step back. So that's kind of where it started. And in Chicago, when I was living near Wrigley Field, I lived blocks away, and I used to walk to Wrigley before the game, and people generally didn't recognize me, or if they did, it was like, who's this dude? He just got called up. So it wasn't, I didn't feel like I had to build this wall. And so when I got to the Phillies, I was like, who are all these people on the room list here? It was like Huckleberry Finn, it's like, so they were just, so I just thought about like, I'm not gonna do that. And so eventually, there was a couple of times I got a call from a fan, tickets, or it didn't happen that often. I mean, the big one was when the Cubs played the Cardinals, and for a couple of years we stayed right across the street, like at the Westin or something. So there was fans in the lobby, and they just call upstairs. So that wasn't the best, but for the most part, it was not an issue.
Talking to Doug Glanville here on Ben & Woods this morning. So kind of 30,000-foot view of baseball where it stands right now. Obviously, we're in it, man, in the NL West. Doug, it is I'm watching the standings. It's May, and I'm watching the standings. I'm flipping over to the last couple innings of Dodgers, Giants games, like Arizona. We're keeping tabs on them. It's pretty nuts where the West stands right now.
It is, and it's so fun. The West is so good.
That's one word for it. The fun is one word for it. Excruciating is another, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like every day positions are changing, and I think it's just, but for me, it's like because they're all really good, and that's the aspect, like watching. And I got to open up with Padres, and the Braves, and I got to see Mike Schultz. What a good fit. He's thoughtful. He talks about togetherness all the time. Yep. He's very humble about his, experiences, and I think he emphasizes what he talks about as baseball IQ. He's very Fernando Tatis Jr., like just smart, just does a lot of things on just like making good choices in terms of on the bases. And you just have, the talent. I mean, Jackson Merrill, come on. He kind of looks like a Corey Seager in some ways, but it's like, is he on every pitch? Like, how is that possible, like being this young? So, that's just one segment of this division that has the Dodgers in it, and the Diamondbacks are better, and the Giants have gotten their best acquisition was Buster Posey.
Yeah.
They went and got just new leadership. And so I just, it's a division to watch in a league, in the National League, that has a lot of really good teams. And so it's good baseball. And I think everybody's going to be biting their nails right up until the playoffs start.
Doug, one of the big stories in baseball this week was Juan Soto. One aspect of it was the ball he hit off the green monster that ended up at first base, wasn't running out of the box. And, we've dealt with it here in San Diego. Manny Machado does not always run hard out of the box on a routine grounder, but he posts. He's out there sometimes 162 days as a leader, and that's just kind of how he feels like he can maybe maximize his skills and talent by not always being out there. Now, this is something else you wrote about on Welcome to Glanville recently about going all out and what you learned. And we'll bring up Sean Dunston again. But what's your take on that kind of always running and always sprinting aspect of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I do understand, like, culturally where it started to come from. I remember Bryce Harper, got into it with Jonathan Papelbon and when he was with Washington. And I think sometimes there's actually conversations with, managers or something, or coaches saying, hey, especially you have an injury, right? Something nagging. It's like, oh, hey, don't go all out. You might, because, if you're playing 162 games a year, you're hurt at some point, you're feeling something. So I believe it started in that vein. And it's hard for me to relate to because from a standpoint of after I got to the big leagues, because I had to learn about the hustle every single day by watching someone like Sean Dunston. And I remember Sean had back surgery, came back, and I was in the stands because I was on the roster, it was in the minors still. And there was some random spring training game in Arizona. He hits a pop-up to like short center field, kind of mile high. And I'm looking at the ball, and when it comes down, Sean Dunston is like standing at second base. He's like going into second. I was like, wow, that's a veteran who's been around the block, and he hustles in a random spring training game. And like that day forward, I was like, there's no excuse, and if you're hurt, that's one thing, but like to go hard every day. And I've just seen too much. And so have all these players, right? That I'll give you an example, Double-A, and I don't remember the exact score, but I think we were down like 4-0 or 5-0, 2 outs, last out, pitcher throws it in, we're home, check swing, and the ball rolls towards first base. And it's, easy play for the first baseman. First baseman picks it up, batter's hustling, and then he's about to step on the base, and the ball just falls out of his glove, and it just rolls foul. He just dropped it. Nobody touched him. Guy gets to first base, and then we score one more run than they had in that inning and won by 1 run. That was some random Double-A game, but I started to put it together. Like, you can put so much pressure on people by just running hard. Anything can happen. Like, someone throws it away. Yes, they're big leaguers, but they make plenty of mistakes. So,
Sure.
So I understand, and I know with Machado, with the knee injuries and a lot of things, I think there was a communication about him, like, okay, pump up the brakes because you're getting hurt, and we need you out there. So I know that is a factor that is way more emphasized today with load management and all these things. So it is a different time and a different culture.
Yeah, it sure is. And I go back and forth on it too. I was never good, so I had to hustle. It was one of those things where it's like I was never really good. If I wanted to get on base, I might have to force an error. And you see there are guys in the big leagues like every team's got a few of those guys that are just kind of grinder guys, man. And they got to run hard every single time. Sometimes I watch play, like I watched the other night, the Diamondbacks were playing and Corbin Carroll, he hit a ball down the right field line. And I'm looking at this, and they're up pretty big at this point against the Dodgers. It was the other night when the Dodgers just fell apart. And I'm like, bro, he was going wheels off to third base. I mean, he was, and if I'm a Diamondbacks fan, I'm like, no, like settle for the double there. We need you for the long haul because you're a star. I don't know. I literally go back and forth, player to player, game to game. I know it's easy for us to sit and be like, nope, you got to run 100% all the time, but you tweak your hammy running out a 6-hopper to second base and you miss 10 days or 15 days. I'm going to be furious. It's just hard.
Right.
So much invested in these guys.
That's it. And I didn't culturally get to that point in the big leagues because because I was thinking, I don't have to run. Like I was a speed guy.
Yeah.
I had to put pressure on people. Right. And I also saw a lot of times where I forced people to make mistakes. And so if I didn't run, then I would have just given them that out. And so there is a factor of that. And whether you should be in a certain kind of shape where you don't get hurt because you go into fifth gear. I just love the guys. I remember when I met Dansby Swanson for the first time, it was because I went up to him before a game after he had 2 doubles the game before. It was against the Padres actually, and he hustled they were hustle doubles. They weren't doubles off the wall. It was like he ran and turned them into doubles. And I saw him before the game. I said, "Hey man, I really appreciate like your hustle, how hard you play." And like you said, it wasn't necessarily like meaningful, down by 7, whatever it was. But he ran hard, and he told me that I signed an autograph for him when he was like 10 in Atlanta. So that was a whole other side story. but yeah, it was just like that. PCA guys like that, like just play hard and hair on fire. So you don't want to lose a guy, but you also want them to put the pressure on, because I'll tell you that play where the guy doesn't run hard for whatever reason,
it's bad.
And then the ball like falls in or hits the wall. And I'm going to make a distinction as I do in that article between hustling and like admiring your work and thinking the ball is going to end up in the upper deck and it hits the top of the wall. That is absolutely inexcusable, right? It's like, that's not a hustle issue.
Yeah, 100%. Talking to Doug Glanville here on Ben and Woods this morning. What do you make, switching gears a little bit, what do you make of what's going on in Pittsburgh with Paul Skeens? I still see it every day. You had Jeff Passan coming out last week talking about potentially, maybe the best thing for them to do would be to move a guy like Paul Skeens. I did see some random anonymous quote from somebody inside the Pirates said, not going to happen, no way, no chance. I mean, I can't believe that would even be brought up now, and I think it speaks obviously more of the Pittsburgh Pirates and how they're doing business. But what is your take as an analyst on a guy of that, talent level? Do you think people will actually be calling the Pirates come July going, hey, is he available for this massive package?
I mean, if you can kick the tires, you kick the tires.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of it is, you don't want to have like a have and have not culture to the point where you're just like the Pirates are just a farm team for the Dodgers or something like that. But, so every team runs its business differently and the resources they decide to expend at like trade deadlines or different moments. The fan in me always liked like, okay, there's some great pitchers all spread around the league, which allows you to see these incredible matchups, right? Skeens versus Ohtani or something pitching, I think that's a fun thing where every team, has somebody, the shutdown guy. But the thing about nowadays, when you're like thinking of these markets that have the resources to kind of acquire more and more talent, they're going to continue to test these teams to see if they're willing to part ways. And, and they might come to the conclusion that there's always a number you can bid to make the change. So, and I think also from the game standpoint, I know like Jeff Passan, many talk about this, but it's like, what's like great for baseball, right? With Paul Skeens as a Yankee or whatever, these things, it's a lot more attention on Paul Skeens as he deserves. And but it starts to get into this, market bias, right? About what franchises are bringing that attention. And I think that's a kind of a risky, slippery slope when you just start feeding the beasts, and not making sure that it's a fair competition. Because I love the National League right now, seeing the Phillies are good, the Mets are good, Washington is, they're kind of tough with little young guys. There's a lot of teams that, that can really play. And that gives every fan base a chance to feel like, well, you have a shot this year to get into the postseason. That's a good thing.
If you'd like more from Doug Glanville, you can sign up for his Substack. Welcome to Glanville. He's an excellent writer, by the way. wouldn't be surprised. He's an Ivy League guy. And you can always see him on ESPN as well. Doug, wish we had more time, but I appreciate you joining us here on our Big League Wednesday.
Yeah, always a pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Thanks so much.
Doug Lanville, solid guy. Solid guy. And yeah, he played the game in a different era. I see your point. I mean, we've seen Fernando Tatis Jr. He used to play with his hair on fire. He's definitely backed off of that a little bit. Not because I'm almost certain, not because he's gotten lazy, because he's been told to. That the organization has said, we can't lose you because you're going headfirst into all these bases all the time. We need you to back off of it a little bit. And he has.
Yep.
It hasn't played as crazy. Now, when he sees a chance to take home and win a game, he takes it. But otherwise, he's not playing insanely, putting pressure on every moment of every game. And that's what the Padres want from him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you need him. You need him out there 150 games. What's that look like? You need those guys out there. It is, man. It's a fine line. And again, we love to turn one baseball player into the next. They're different. And the good, the bad, the ugly with a guy like Juan Soto, that's what you're gonna have to deal with if you're a Met fan.
All right, we'll check traffic and then wrap up our Wednesday edition of Ben and Woods next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by City Cruises. Got a few things wrapping up our morning drive. Crash on Spring Street on-ramp to westbound 8. Looks like that's in the clearing stage. Also, westbound 52. Not sure what's taking us so long to clear this accident past the 125. Been here for a couple hours. Car and Big Rig involved there over to the right shoulder. Another crash up ahead, West 52. This one's right before Convoy, over to the right shoulder. Northbound 15 at Arrow Drive, a collision over to the right shoulder. And South 5 Coastline, right before Delmar Heights Road, vehicle struck the center divide. Set sail with Randy Hauser as he lights up the bay for an exclusive concert cruise like no other. Join us on Friday, May 23rd with City Cruises, live in San Diego for an epic night of country music, dinner, drinks, and skyline views. Get tickets now at citycruises.com/live. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, will this be the day where the Padres break out of their offensive funk? Woods would like to see Mike Schultz shake up the lineup a little bit. Don't know if that'll do anything, but at this point, when you throw your arms up in the air and go, I guess it can't hurt, because you can't score fewer than 0 runs.
If there was a way, I feel like we would find it. The way the offense is currently constructed right now and how it's currently going.
It's not going well, but only takes one, and the Padres will try again today with Randy Vasquez on the mound against Kevin Gossman. 4:07 first pitch. Sammy Levitt will have your Eco Water pregame show at 3:07 this afternoon. And don't forget, tomorrow we got a short Ben and Woods program because it is a 10:07 first pitch and a 9:07 pregame show. So we'll get out of here a little bit after 9 o'clock tomorrow. So one of those rare days where Ben and Woods actually gets preempted for an hour. Happens about 3 or 4 times a season, at most.
I feel like we have to go extra more than we get off early.
Yeah, we do have extra shows sometimes too.
Yeah, those 10, 20
minute
show.
We never do good on short shows. I don't know why. It's just like a bugaboo. It's like
3-hour show plus 2 guests, because we will still talk to Sarah.
You can't mess this up, right?
And we have Mikey Varas coming on.
Okay.
And hopefully a decent game to talk about tonight. I mean, it's the efficient. We're going to have to be efficient to get it all in, hopefully tomorrow.
We always say that.
We do.
We'll see. See how it goes. I'll be ready.
I hope you will be.
I will be ready. No Little League, no nothing. And I can give my full attention to this offense and really break down their struggles and their ABs tomorrow.
Hit the ball in the air more.
Hey,
that's my analysis.
Try this. Maybe you hit one out of the ballpark.
And of course, then, Elias Diaz hits one in the air, and of course it dies right at the warning track as the guy makes the leaping catch.
Correct.
So, can't really do anything correct right now offensively. All right, that's it for us. Braden's coming up next for executive producer Paul Reindl and Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.